Conspiracies, government cover-ups, Earth mysteries, monster cryptids.
Hospital Porter's pride and dignity. Stop the New World Order. Welcome to HPANWO TV and welcome to this, the 106th reply to comments videos. This is the video in which I get to reply to your comments, and it is the first one of 2025. And again, it's in two parts, YouTube and alt tech, and that's going to be standard from now on. So if you're new to this channel, what is this video? Well, as the title suggests, it's a video and I reply to your YouTube comments. All my YouTube videos so far have had open comment sections, and I welcome all opinions. Believer, non-believer, I don't care. I'm happy to reply to you. And now, it'd be very easy, of course, to reply by text. I could just type out something else, but unfortunately I don't have time because I get too many comments because I'm such a popular channel. And I feel obliged to, though. I feel obliged to give you some sort of reply. So I'd make these reply to comments videos. And you might think, oh, I'm not going to watch a 9-hour video just to get a reply to one comment, Ben. You know, what's the point of this? Well, you don't have to. You don't have to. For two reasons. Firstly, I'm going to put a timestamp under the comment I'm replying to, telling you to within the nearest hour of the upcoming video in which I'll be replying to your comment. So 1 hour the most is all you have to watch. No big deal. Secondly, my reply to comments videos are no longer 9 hours long. I know they used to be, but they're a lot shorter now because I do them more often. Another reason I do reply to comments videos is because I enjoy doing them. It's so fun, and what's more, you guys enjoy watching them. I know that because some of you watch them all the way through. And also another reason is just in case the video gets yeeted at some point, which of course is bound to happen, especially in the YouTube section, certainly. If that's the case, then the comments will be lost. And as Stephen Molyneux said when he was banned from YouTube, the comments are a precious philosophical dialogue. That's another reason to reply to comments videos. So what I'll do is I will go straight to the place I was when I last left off, which is, it was actually not as far long ago as it was actually not as long ago as I thought I was. I was thinking, how long has it been now? Over a month. It's actually the 30th of December. I did one just before New Year. I did a reply to comments video, so we'll go to that now. On the 30th of December, New Year's Eve, if you can remember that far back. Those were the days, eh? All right, so where are we here? We're going to go back. We go. I should have done this before, shouldn't I? Okay then, right. So with Rin Michaela's 14 Disney villains, Orange says here Jimmy Carter just died. He had a famous UFO encounter. He died at the same time we were all having these sightings. Just a coincidence, nothing to worry about. Great Ikeism there from Orange. I don't know if it is significant that the drone sightings occurred. They seem to have died off now, those drone sightings. There's still some videos of them popping up. Hard to say whether it's hard to say whether they're real or not. Unfortunately, in this day and age, but I don't know if there's a connection there. But yeah, Jimmy Carter did die, 100 years old. He made it to the big three figures. Good for him. And then he popped off like we all do. And that's life, and that's death. So we'll go next to the next one, and it is Hugo Rune. This is a reply to comments 105 YouTube. Hugo Rune. Hello, Hugo. How you doing? Oh, I'm going to make arrangements to come and see you. I did say I'd do it in February, didn't I? And Hugo Rune also says on the same video, what he does, he gives a wave and a smiley emoji. On the next video, he does like a okay emoji. So, yes. Right, you are, Hugo. Thanks very much, mate. Thanks very much. 105 again, Neil Peel says, I actually put the first comment here, but my phone locked up and it left 5 entries instead of 1. Cleared all but one of them, and now that seems to have vanished. Do I still got a lolly? Do I still get a lolly? Neil, you get a mention in dispatches. No medal. Rick Horton has a thumbs up on the same video. Hello, Rick. How you doing? Thanks, mate. Oh, cool. But yeah, Neil's got a Neil has a new book, which is really cool. I'll check it out. It's this one. Where is it? This is Neil's new book, everyone. Check you can see it. True Tales of the Paranormal. Spirits, Ghosts, and the Hidden World by Neil Ward. Yes. I'm just in the middle of reading that. It's very good. All right, and now we have nothing. My nose is itching again. Reply to comments 105 YouTube. Nothing as it seems says. Oh, it made me so happy to hear you laugh at the comment. Was he the Egyptian involved in pyramid selling? Yes, yes. My mum's brother and dad got caught up in the Armway scheme when I was little. The Federal Trade Commission (FTC) investigated Armway in 1979, accusing it of operating as an illegal pyramid scheme. Yeah, that was funny. That you got to laugh at these things, haven't you? Because otherwise, if I didn't laugh at it, I'd cry at it. But yeah, the pyramid scheme is where you invest supposedly into some kind of some kind of some kind of scheme in which you get paid by other people within the pyramid, and the idea is because you're at the top of the pyramid, people below you pay upwards, and then you eventually get the money from them. But first, you have to be lower down the pyramid and pay upwards. Of course, it's a complete scam. It's a complete. It's there's all kinds of things like those chain letter scams and things like that. Total and utter. Don't. I'm glad you. It's a shame. I'm sorry your parents got caught up within it. But the blame lies with the people who do it, not the people who get caught up. I mean, I'm a great believer in not victim blaming, as unfortunately I'm in a rarity there, but there you go. Same video, Bumbelina says, "Hi Ben, I was also at the David Icke presentation in 2002 at the Brixton Academy." Oh, did he do one in 2002 then? Do you not mean a different one? He did one in 2002 at Stoke-on-Trent. And he says, and Bumbelina says, "I was in the front row, where I think I was a few seats from yourself. It was a great show, and I just wished I'd introduced myself, as I'm now a big fan and follower. Hopefully, at a future presentation, I'll get a chance to introduce myself. Thank you for your great TV and audio." Oh, you're very welcome, Bumbelina. As you know, it's a shame. Yeah, I was on the front row. I think in one of them, I got a front row seat. I can't remember which one. I really think it was good. Excuse me. Yeah. I must have been sitting close to you anyway, yeah. Neil says, "Would you have recognised Ben at the time, though?" I think Bumbelina might not have been watching me in those days. And we have the one and only Steve Mumbling. I've got to check out his channel, actually. Has Steve put anything on his channel? Let me do that quickly, something for a while. Usually puts things up about UFOs. Oh, he has. Oh, he's put... Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, I knew he'd have something to say about this. Overwhelming evidence of extraterrestrial recovery vehicle. And Jake Barber, Fred, what's his name? Psionic experiences. All right, okay. I'm not going to watch those now, but you get the picture. It's a bit predictable, actually. I could almost make Steve's videos for him. Anyway, reply to comment 105. Steve Mumbling says, and as usual, it triggers a big thread. The Roswell wreckage was described as being like a box kite. That's right, yes. Sounds like Brazel's description. Yes, it was like Brazel's description because Brazel found some of it. He didn't find like the main crash site. He didn't find. He found fragments over his ranch, but he described it as being kite-like. Steve continues: balsa wood, sticks, tin foil, rubber strips, scotch tape, and cardboard. No, that's Brazel, and just Marcel said it was not that. That was what Marcel was made to hold up in General Ramey's office. When he had that photograph taken, he was humiliated. Something I dramatise in my book, Roswell Rising, a Novel of Disclosure. I actually have a scene in the book where that happens. So yeah, no, I don't agree with you. If that's your point, Marcel specifically said, well, firstly, Brazel, it looks like, was paid off. He was bribed into changing his story. Marcel said specifically, that's not what I found. Balloons don't have propulsion systems, Ben. Wakey, wakey. I know that, Steve, unless only airships do. The no culprit in the dock analogy holds up. There's never a recovered alien spacecraft in the dock there. No witness can point at a tangible recovered ET craft and say, that's the craft I saw. All right, no one can put... Well, Marcel and Brazel really were the only people who pointed at it and said, that's the craft I saw. There are other people. There's Lieutenant Walter Hout and people like that. There's what's his name? Glenn Dennis. There's a couple of other people. All they can do is tell a story about what they saw. If they actually saw anything at all. Get it now? Hogwash has delusions of grandeur. He started by saying Professor was nicknamed due to his cultivated appearance. No, you see, like I said, now Hogwash has changed his tune. Suddenly now you could turn against him. Yeah. I think he did say he changed the name on his channel to Simon Holland Filmmaker. Then a few days later, he changed the name back to Professor Simon and then said, I'm a professor. I've always been a professor. The truth is he's not a professor and has never been a professor. I know that. I mean, but look, he's explained why he calls himself professor. I think he realized it was a mistake to change his name. It's because of his appearance. He looks like a kind of wild, sort of Albert Einstein, kind of like acid head. I think I like his appearance. He's cool. I like him. I liked him even before he was a skeptic. Even before he was a believer, and he used to be a skeptic. I used to think he was quite cool. So it's just that's the reason he calls himself professor. He's a science filmmaker. That's what he is. He swallowed his own Kool-Aid. From what I've seen, he has little understanding of science and physics. He puts out technically inaccurate science fiction rubbish, and people thank him for it because they're not in a position to know. It's technically inaccurate science fiction rubbish, just like you, Ben. I see, Steve. So what you're basically saying is that when Simon was a skeptic, you left him alone. Now he's not a skeptic. Suddenly it's A, B, and C. He's A, B, and C, technically inaccurate. All these other ad hominems you're using against him, which you didn't use when he was a skeptic. I am in a position to know. He should be ashamed of himself for claiming to be a senior academic. The MSM certainly thought they were talking to a senior academic involved in SETI research, not a goat farmer with the nickname Professor. Well, the thing is, the mainstream media get a lot of things wrong, Steve, don't they? And this is surely one of the things they're going to get wrong. Not least because he didn't. If he'd explained and just said, "Look, that's just the name I call myself. I'm not really a professor." He could have done that. Shame on, and he never corrected them. Well, maybe he didn't realize they were going to say that, because maybe he thought they'd watched the video where he said he wasn't a real professor. Shame on him. The fact that he said, I'm a professor, I've always been a professor. In what context, Steve? I think he's never claimed to be a real professor. He just says that's kind of his kind of like persona. I don't think he's using this name professor as a way of pretending he's an academic. I don't think he's at no point has he actually said, I'm an academic. I'm this sort of A, B, and C person. I don't think he's ever done that. That would be stolen valor if he did that. And I don't think he's doing that. It tells you what he really believes. He lives in cloud cookie land. Do you think the MSM would have printed his ridiculous BLC rubbish if they had known they were talking to a goat farmer pretending to be a senior academic? I don't think he was doing that. Would they have printed his stuff? Maybe they made up him being. Maybe, does it occur to you that the mainstream media itself lied and pretended he was a real professor because it helped them? It helped them sell the story they were trying to sell. And not least because of, like I said, because of his appearance. Because he's an old guy with big, thick glasses and big white hair sticking out. I mean, he just looked like some kind of mad scientist, doesn't he? I don't. It would be like printing something you told them, Ben. It just wouldn't happen. Well, the thing is, Steve, it's the other way around, mate, because, they wanted to print things that I've said and I've told them not to. Or put it this way, they've asked me to be involved in various media projects, the mainstream, like the BBC, several newspapers, people like that have written to me and they've wanted me to be involved in their productions and documents. And I said no. I said, no, I won't. Neil Peel says underneath, I understand he used to be a VT editor. Yes, he was. And Neil continues, just pointing out that when questioned about Roswell, Trump said it was very interesting. He said he couldn't go into it, but it was very interesting. Why didn't he just say it was a mogul balloon, as we've been officially told, if Trump can say anything about it? Yes, Neil. Yes, Neil. It was an interview he did with Don Jr. And what's more, Don Jr. has recently got back into this, as I explained in my videos. They're all tech exclusive. I've done a lot of all tech exclusives this time around. In fact, all my last 3 videos have been all tech exclusives. But Don Jr. interviewed Ross Coulthard, didn't he? Steve Mumbling comes back. He's not defeated so easily, he said. Trump has said on at least 2 interviews that personally he doesn't believe in aliens. Yeah. It's not about belief. It's about evidence, as Marcus Allen says. Yeah. Maybe he doesn't believe in them. Maybe he just knows, Steve. You see, maybe he knows. I mean, thing is, in that interview where he says not particularly, he didn't say no, I think it's rubbish. He says not particularly. Do I believe it? Not particularly. But then he changed the subject into talking how wonderful he thought the pilots were. He would be, being their commander-in-chief, he would. So he obviously hasn't been told Roswell involved aliens. He has no interest in Roswell or aliens. Excuse me. He said it's interesting because the town of Roswell survives on ET crash tourism. He couldn't say anything more detailed about it because he's not interested in alien stories. He doesn't know anything about it. Well, he did actually say, millions of people come to me, millions asking, and I could tell them things and I can't tell them. So it looks like he does know something, Steve. What's more, he has ordered the declassification of the JFK files, and as Alien Scientist said the other day on his channel, the UFO issue will tie into the JFK thing. Indeed, in my own JFK video, I said this. I did a special live stream for the 60th anniversary, if you remember, of the assassination. Dorothy Kilgallen, a friend of Marilyn Monroe, was involved. There was a crash retrieval here in Cumbria in 1954 over in this country, and Dorothy Kilgallen knew about it. Marilyn Monroe knew Dorothy Kilgallen. Marilyn was briefly married to a man called Steve Glazer, who was a ufologist, and she had an affair with the Kennedys. So there was that connection. That could be one of the reasons he was bumped off, or maybe both of them were. And Steve then carries on. Trump has said on at least, all right, yes, he's just repeating stuff now. Hang on, here he goes. Okay, Steve has just kind of repeated the same question. Oh, no, I think I read that one out, yes. So, yeah, okay, I get the picture. Obviously, I don't agree. I don't agree with Steve for reasons I've explained. But, I mean, we'll find out. I mean, look what Trump has done in just a week. What's he going to do in 4 years, Steve? What's he going to do in 4 whole years? Reply to comments 105. YouTube, Steve Mumbling. Happy piffle peddling New Year, Ben. Happy New Year to you, Steve. Happy skeptic debunking and denial of reality New Year to you as well. Same video, Steve Mumbling. I didn't see David's question. If I'm proved wrong with tangible evidence, I'll say I was wrong. I don't have a problem with that. Of course I won't be proved wrong. I never am. The mere suggestion is preposterous. Oh, yes. I'm never wrong. Well, I don't know what David's. If you mean David's Splendid Isolation, he had a couple of comments disappear. I don't know why that happens. It does sometimes. And yes, it's very, very annoying when it does. I don't like it. I really don't like it. But anyway. DJ B2 on the same video says, "Hi peeps, hey DJ, thanks for posting in the live in the Alt Tech exclusive live stream, mate. I appreciate that." DJ B2 says on reply to comments 105, red wine and zinc. Is that your favourite tipple? And he says, yeah, take it easy, Ben. Take it easy, DJ. Take it easy. Reply comments 105 YouTube. Red Snapper 139. Sorry about the illness. Thanks, mate. I'm a lot better now. Although my voice is still not quite right. I mean, it's now about 5 or 6 weeks since I first got ill. But I'm kind of like, I think maybe my voice has permanently changed as a result of my illness. I don't know. It feels different. I still hear my voice slightly differently. I don't know if you actually feel the same way. I mean, it's either way. I mean, I can talk. That's the main thing. I had a happy Boxing Day, everyone, about me being ill, so I didn't do any videos for a while. And Red Snapper says, "Sorry, I missed this post. Don't worry about it, mate. Don't worry about it. I'm over it now." A 105 Red Snapper, 134. Sorry, 1134. 2002 nostalgia for the 2002 UFO scene. Oh yes, I would take that further. I have nostalgia for the country in general. Everyone in the two towns I grew up in was British. The factory I worked in was all British. We all went to the pub at lunch break and we could smoke. And now they've got rid of all that. I know, mate. I know. Incredible the amount of change that's happened in just 2 decades. I think the reason is because the Illuminati are desperate. They're like pushing things. They're pushing things really hard. They're taking risks. They're being very extreme at the moment. So I did a really good article you might like, actually. It was on HPANWO Voice, and I was a bit nervous, actually. I thought this is going to get me into trouble, but it's called Fall Back to the Keep, if you want to read it. It's a very, very good one. I'm very proud of this article. It's not a long one. It's like a 5-minute read, or if not less. 1550. Yes, the Belgian health minister. She was gross. Yeah, talk about a diet book with Jabba the Hutt on the front. Highway Staff says here on 105. Happy New Year, Ben. Happy New Year, Highway Star. I don't comment much, but I watch a lot of content from you. Thank you for coming up with interesting topics. And yes, I'm a believer like yourself. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Highway Star. And Neil Peel says, Highway Star as in Deep Purple. All right. Showing your age there, Neil. Red Snapper's put a timestamp here. Yes, I'm winding you up. This is on 105. Let's have a look. What's this? All right. Yes, that's all right. She says here, I noted 2 women of color at the table. It's great to see ufology's finally embracing diversity. Oh, hey, I remember that. Yes. Yes, I'm winding you up. I thought you were Red Snapper. I thought you were at 105. Red Snapper says, good reply to comments. You're welcome, Red Snapper. I hope you like this one just as much. DJ B2 says on 105, I agree with Ben. David needs to keep commenting. Yes, I hope David Splendid Isolation does. I mean, the thing to do is always write the comment out in a notepad file or something like that beforehand so you can repost if it doesn't appear. DJ says on 105, to look into the subject matters a lot of us look into. A sense of humor is the key. Oh, God, not half. As I said earlier, some of these things, if I didn't laugh at them, I'd cry at them. Red Snapper says on 105, who is Marley Pumpkin? Made a few videos on you. Type in Marley Pumpkin, Ben, to YouTube. Oh, are those videos still there? Oh, God. Oh, bloody heck. Hang on. Marley Pumpkin is one of the droid trolls. Let's have a look. Oh, no, hang on. What's this? Oh, yeah, this. All right, who's this? It's one of the droid trolls. I don't know who this is. But I mean, it may not be the same person, actually. But there was someone called Marley Pumpkin, who's one of the droid trolls who I blocked. Neil says, sound like you caught a bad chesty cold, Ben. You should have avoided the you know what. Get well soon. Thanks, Neil. But I never took any I was more sense. But I'm a lot better now, thanks. Rihanna on Raven says here. Sounding very cool and husky there, Ben. One of the benefits of having a cold. Oh, it's done wonders for my dating profile, I'll tell you. Well, it would do if I had one. I think Dr. Fennick speaks about how life is not the opposite of death. Birth is the opposite of death because life is eternal. On a track called Presence by one of my favorite bands called Anathema. I'm not absolutely sure it's him, but it really does sound like him. I've attached a link below. Let's have a look. I remember, I think you asked me to play one of these sometime.
You can't really help people who are having problems with mortality if you've got problems of your own. So you have to begin to sort things out. And I thought I had sorted things out until I saw this excerpt from this book.
All right, no, I don't think that's him. I don't think that's him, Rhiannon. But thanks very much. I'll have a listen to that. I can look it up anyway and find out exactly who that was. But it's the sort of thing he would say. It does sound a bit like him, I suppose. I don't think it's him. It could be wrong, but his voice sounded different. Right, Oxford Graffiti 8 306. Weird, a watermelon being there. All right, I know what this is, Red Snapper. Yes, there was someone left. You got a timestamp here. I can click it and have a look. But someone left a watermelon just lying there. Yes,
Mark Linus.
A Mark Linus.
A watermelon lying on the ground, decomposing. I don't know why that is, but they've just decided to do it. This new.
Yes, a Mark Linus. Red on the inside, green on the outside. Yes. Yes, I don't know what that was doing there particularly. It was sort of decompose over the next few days, as they do, and I sort of what was quite interesting to watch. That was Oxford Graffiti 8. Also, here is another timestamp here. What's this?
WCC TV. I don't know what that means. But you can see there's things here. There's another one as well.
Oh, that's that. Yeah, that's still there. Believe it or not, that bloody compound. It was supposed to have been. It was supposed to have been. It was supposed to have been taken down months ago. But anyway, Red Snapper says WCC TV is the UK's leading supplier of rapidly installed mobile CCTV systems backed by a fully managed service. You copied that from their webpage, didn't you? Our cameras deliver live and recorded video via mobile networks and are specially designed for temporary security or targeted surveillance applications. All right. That must be, yes. I mean, the cameras are gone now, but I can show you. I'll show you it on my next graffiti video. Yeah. Mark Devlin's tour 2. I know you're a huge Mark Devlin fan, Ben. Did you enjoy the tour? It was all right. I mean, the thing is, Tony kind of like took over a little bit, and I began thinking afterwards I shouldn't have invited him. But yeah, Tony, he's a nice chap, but he tends to be a bit oblivious to the world around him. He kind of took over there. Right, Melvin Sherman says here on 105 YouTube, of course, it's bad for YouTube. What I'll do is I said I will upload. I'll upload the YouTube reply to comments videos to all my sites, but the Alt-Tech ones will only go onto the 3 Alt-Tech sites. Oh God, there's loads of. Oh God, Melvin, how am I supposed to click all these links? What are they? He's got about a dozen, or he's got about 9. Oh, Stick Hexenhammer.
This isn't part of the occult series that I've made. I've already spoken about my feelings on extraterrestrials. I believe that, speaking in the purest mathematical terms, it's rather unthinkable that advanced life does not exist elsewhere.
Oh, so Styx does believe in aliens. I'm not gonna click all these links right now, Melvin. This is quite an old one. I mean, he looks young there. He looks very young. It must be quite an old video. But Melvin says, I said this before, but Styx Hexenhammer believes in aliens. But unlike you, he is that said aliens are real, but I don't believe the aliens don't have the tech to go to our planet. He is guy that even let say alien are real. He is guy that you're honestly, you need to work on your grammar, man. He is guy that believe there's some logic to it, like the aliens don't have a spaceship to travel to our plant. I think you mean planet. I'm not quite. Again, you're a bit incoherent here, but I'll have a look at the videos and find out what Styx actually believes. I know he's very into the occult. He still is today. Styx is a guy that I want to see a X-Files type show. Yeah. So I think Styx would be cool, wouldn't it? Yeah. That's about all. I want to believe. That's about all. Peace out. And their conspiracy theory guy that go, okay, aliens are real, but I don't believe aliens can travel to planet Earth. All right, you want the debate between the two, because the people who say aliens are real, but aliens can't travel to planet Earth are basically the SETI people, search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Because Melvin says, because like normal rocket ship can't travel to a different solar system. Well, ours can't. Our rockets can't travel to different solar systems. They can travel to planets in our own solar system. They can even take humans to a certain area, but you know, to certain places. I mean, well, you know, I don't think they went to the moon, but they can take humans into low Earth orbit. But they can't. You know, it's possible, given hundreds of years, or maybe maybe the aliens declassify their own secret space program. They could build craft that could travel across the vast gulfs of interstellar space. That is possible. All right, Trump impeachment 2 live stream banned. Red Snap said, "Oh, my pissed off camera angle." Yes, that's right. I had the camera down towards my right. Yes. Video ban 6. Could you ever retire from attending conferences? Oh no, Red. I couldn't. What am I going to do instead? Go to Ibiza and go to nightclubs? Go and lounge on the beach in Lanzarote? No. The conferences are the equivalent of my holidays away. I mean, I can't. I'd go crazy. No, I have to go to conferences. Video ban 6. All right, this is 11. There's a timestamp here. On my channel, including some very old videos. Yeah, maybe someone got my back. I don't want to speak too soon because, yeah, has anyone in YouTube got your back? No chance. Well, Red, maybe I was just Red Snapper said this. Maybe I was trying to work out why these strikes were timed so very carefully not to intersect, so I wouldn't get a double strike on my channel. I just wondered whether that was the case. And you say no chance. Or maybe you're right. Maybe I'm just lucky. I don't know. Red Snap, Kev Baker, R.I.P. Red Snack says, R.I.P. Kev, been a quick 3 years. It has indeed. It's just over 3 years since we lost the great man, yeah. Poor old good old Kev. Video ban 7. It's a terror, all these bannings. It bloody is, isn't it? Bloody annoying. Am I going to get any more? Is that it? Reply to comments 93. Didn't you know a dealer called Ivan the Terrible? Yeah, yes, that was his nickname. He was quite a character, actually. I mean, I suppose he was quite inappropriate when I look back, but you know, I wasn't like underage, but I was like about 17 or 18 when I first met him, and he was known as Ivan the Terrible. And he says, I turned up with my friends who were both sort of we were all in our late teens, so I suppose it's not really legal. He says, guys, I'm getting some blow if you want it. Want a bit of blow? Want a bit of blow? Okay. He was everyone's supplier in the area, I'll tell you, yeah. Same video, 93, reply to comments 93, 2010. Did CERN switch on trigger? This is Red Snapper again. Did CERN switch on trigger a resonance cascade similar to that of the Black Mesa facility in the 1998 video game Half-Life? A portal to the Xen world was inevitably opening. Right, now I've not played Half-Life, but I know it's interesting because it has like Area 51 and the Illuminati in. But did CERN switch on I don't know exactly what you mean by a resonance cascade, but I do know that the Mandela effect only appeared after CERN switched on. It was first identified by Fiona Broom back in those days, and I can't help wondering if it was because it opened a portal. Indeed, there's that unidentified lying object, this object inside the machine, and no one knows where it came from. Reply to comments 93, Red Snapper. Is catastrophic disclosure the worst possible type of disclosure? No, I don't think it is. It could turn out, I mean, it's not ideal, but it could turn out the way unless Trump can work his magic, it could turn out to be the only kind of disclosure we're ever going to get. 11250. Did you ever do that special show for Barry? Right, this is on reply to comments 93. No, what I did an article, Red Snapper. I did an article. I never did a show for him. I did an article. Where is it? Here we go. I'll just show it to you. It's on the HPWA blog. Here we go. Finding Barry's grave. There you go. I found his grave in the end. I went and had a drink, had some Guinness. There you go. So you can there's the URL. That's what I did for him. Oh, Barry. Reply to comments 93. I'd love a debate, just 1 versus 1, just you and mumbling. Oh right, well I'd be up for that. Thing is, well, I mean, live debate thing is, I don't know. I mean, it'd be quite fun. But Steve, I did do a live debate with Steve and a few other people. If you remember the Do you remember? Have you seen that Apollo Detectives video? Red Snapper says on 93, would you ever consider setting up playlists? How about a reply to comments playlist and a banned videos playlist? That's not a bad idea. I don't have any playlists, do I? Maybe I should do, yeah. All right, this is a reply to comments 93, DJ B2, 11:48:59. All right, I think Nick Pope, the Bob Geldof of the UFO scene. Did I call him that? I can't remember. Did I call him that? Oh, my God. And Mark B again. Pope, the Bob Geldof of the UFO scene. Oh, I did. Oh, it was Mark B. I didn't call him that. Someone else did. I thought that was funny. Right. The Disclosure President 2020. UFO Disclosure 2025. The Disclosure President. DJ B2 says first. Well done, DJ. Gold tinfoil hat on its way to you. Same video. Jack Parker. Cold, no. It's dogmatic working science that has to refer to it in that codified way. Terraforming retirement mucus maintenance. Right. I've got no idea what you're talking about, Jack. Right. Now we have a thread started up by someone called the Rebel Dog. The Rebel Dog says on Disclosure President, the UFO Disclosure 2025, the Disclosure President, he won't disclose nothing. Heard all this crap in 2016. Oh, you have not heard anything like this in 2016. Trump's second presidency is going to be very, very different to his first one. I promise you that. Here's this current. I'm just checking my audio. His current presidency, this one he's doing now, is going to be a different world. I promise you. And David Splendid Isolation says in reply, "Thanks for. I'm glad you're still. I'm glad you're still commenting, David. That was before the MSM revelations, official admissions, and congressional hearings from 2017 onwards. We're much further down the road to disclosure than 2016. Correct. That's a brilliant point, David. 2016 was another world in the world of ufology as well. You're absolutely right. I don't think it's a coincidence that the 2017 revelations took place in the Trump presidency. And David says post 2017, all bets are off. If you're paying attention, you'll know this. Rebel Dog says to David, oh, I'm paying attention. They all lie to you. And if you haven't worked that out yet, you're not paying attention. David we're getting an argument here. David says to Rebel Dog, you may believe that, but that's only rhetoric. You've learned from my lines. It's been disclosed where the CRs and ARVs are, alien reproduction vehicle and crash retrievals. That's what it means. All it takes is political will to break through the highest levels of national security for elected governments to get to them. Yeah, that's not easy, but it's constitutionally possible where there's a will. Yes, there is. It's not going to be easy, though. It's not. And the political will is there, but I think it may take more than that, David, to win this covert civil war against the national security state. But if anyone could do it, I think Trump can. Rebel Dog says, more of the same is all you'll get. I promise you that. And Blogger says here to David, 193 countries and not one has disclosed anything. The assumption is, therefore, there's nothing to disclose. The US doesn't get carte blanche on information releases or disclosure any more than the UN may think it has. Do you seriously think that if a UFO crashed in, say, Afghanistan, China, Palestine, Outer Hebrides, it will be the US that tells the world about it? Right, Blogger. Firstly, if it was the Outer Hebrides, probably yes, because Outer Hebrides is in Scotland, which is part of the UK, and the UK still is, even in this Trump, until recently, I think with the election of Trump, Britain was basically in bed with the US totally, the Biden regime and everything. If it happened now, it might be slightly differently. Also, it may occur to you, Blogger, that these other nations also have the same motivations as the US for their truth embargo. Has that occurred to you? Has it occurred to you that the truth embargo is in a very stable equilibrium when it comes to state actors and their relationship with the people? Palestine, I think if it happened in Palestine, you might have a chance, actually, because they'll do anything to get one over on the Israelis. But Palestine is a very small area. It consists of 2 territories in the West Bank and Gaza, so it's a very small territory. China, yeah, China again has its own reasons. I think China is one of the least likely countries to do disclosure. I personally, I mean, my own view now, until Trump got elected or inaugurated, I would say Russia. I think you had a good chance with Russia. With Trump, I think the center of gravity has shifted back to the United States. Afghanistan is the Taliban. The Taliban, believe it or not, is still dependent on foreign aid from various nations. I don't think they would risk it unilaterally. So the answers the various countries is that you assume there's nothing to disclose, but maybe you should ask yourself, maybe you should ask yourself why they might not disclose, and ask yourself maybe that they are asking themselves the same question that previous US administrations have asked. Things I've just realized with my glasses I look like Ashton Forbes. Okay, and then Rebel Dog says to Blogger, but this one is special. Never underestimate those who lack critical thinking ability to use special pleading fallacy with more conspiracy and claims to back up their fallacy, so they won't even believe it's a fallacy. Lol. Typical David Smith sarcasm. The thing is, David, if you listen to what I just said in reply to Blogger, you'll know I've actually got an explanatory model. It's not just special pleading. It's not just another, it's a bigger conspiracy and stuff like that. It is a bigger conspiracy in a way. But I mean, I actually do believe that it's possible that another nation might do disclosure before the US. I think at the moment, Trump, the momentum was with Trump, but maybe they're just watching to see what he does first. Right, so disclosure president, Jack Parker says, realizing somehow carefully in translation the dynamic function of mucus, it is very vital evolution of your knowledge in medicine if you could somehow obtain it. COVID-19 misunderstood mucus posturing in defensive system. The mucus is not the enemy. David, you say realizing somehow carefully in translation. I wish someone would translate you. I really do. I think you're making some reference to my cold or flu that I had, but I'm not. You're being so abstract. It's like reading a quatrain from Nostradamus after he's been on the piss for 6 weeks. Right, the disclosure president. Jack Parker, I enjoyed your six-pack allow it to happen. Understanding someone at least of cravings is good evolution for you. There will be what seems to be spasmatic muscular events and muscles become more activated. You sound like you're diagnosing me. Are you a doctor, Jack? I must admit, I hope you appreciate that if you were posting on Stefan Molyneux's channel or on his locals, he would be like having a go at you because he'd be really laying into you because of your style of speech, and he'd be really laying into like Melvin Sherman because of his lack of grammar, which is I think that's really just disreputable of Stefan. I tolerate you. I even make jokes about you guys. Stefan, if you get a spelling mistake or something, he'll lay into you. I've actually got some audio I want to play you. I've got a future video planned about Molly, and I'll play the audio then, where he spends half an hour just criticizing someone for their grammar. And it's not like you guys, you get this for free. All right, Molly, the people who join Molly's locals, they have to pay for it. You got to pay at least like £6 a month or something to be on his locals chat. And this fucker keeps criticizing. Oh, stop spelling that. You should be spelling. Can't you read things through before you post them? What a dickhead. You just wait. I've got a great Stefan Molyneux video coming up where I'm going to go into that. I should get that video done, actually. It's been waiting in the wings for months. Jack Parker says on Disclosure President, there's not really need to work out. Well, it's funny you should say that, but there is. I mean, I went back to the gym yesterday, and I picked up my usual weight. I can do like 75 reps with like 1.5 kilos. And this bug, and I was like, I got through 50, and I was going like that, and I was going, I was going like that, and I suddenly felt agonizing pain in my elbow, and I thought I better stop. And today, right across my chest and my biceps are absolutely really aching and stiff. And that's just being out of the gym. That's just 2 months without working out, and my muscles are really lost their strength. Yeah. So if you are going to work out and you're going to lift weights and things like that, you need to do it regularly. Jack Parker says Jimmy Carter knew to ignore the dogmatic systemic science and stepped forward in spite of it. He did. I mean, if I understand you correctly, Jack, yes, he spoke out about his UFO sightings. And Neil Peel says, new as in knowing, I think you meant to say here, rather than new as in brand new. Happy New Year, friend. I'm glad you can understand him, Neil. Disclosure President Jack Parker. Friends are friendly. That's what friendship is. That's true. And you know, that's a triple tautology there, but Jack, but I do agree with you. The Disclosure President, how about those drones? Right, well, Jack, I've done an entire video. I've done 2 videos about the drones, actually. Jack Parker says on Disclosure President, your lymphatic circulation will do whatever it needs to rectify and balance. Make sure you're supplying your body with what little things sometimes that it needs can make use of. All right, well, thank you very much, Doctor. I've actually I've come off my detox now, and I've gone back to my normal diet, which, to be fair, is not very toxic. I mean, I do eat quite healthily, and I've been feeling a bit better. You know, I'll go back to the gym soon, and I'm sure I'll be back to my usual exercise and weight routine at some point. You know, the Disclosure President, hang tough, turn off pain and discomfort. Note internal dynamic phenomenon. Right. I'm sure what you mean, the meaning will come to me at some point there, Jack. The Disclosure President, Jack Parker. What's happening now? Oh, God. Oh, that's annoying. I've got to go back now because I've got to go scroll back down now to where Jack Parker was. Where was he? Somewhere down here. Oh, so sorry, it flipped a bit. Jack Parker said here, where is it? Okay, what we might call it psychosomatic placebo effect or whatever, a vital part of conditioning and strengthening. Well, it has an effect, certainly, placebo. Yeah, I mean, this is why when they do drug trials, they have to give people placebo effects. Because if they just give someone the drug and they may take it and just think they're getting better. So you have to give people a placebo. So there's a placebo group that doesn't get the medication to prove that the drug actually has an effect. Jack says on Disclosure President, a big part of the esoterica, we can literally pull ourselves together. Could be a bit tricky if you've been through the old wood chipper, but I'd give it a go. Jack Parker says, believe it or not, you can turn off incredible pain and discomfort, hold it for a while. It will lock with internal dynamic phenomenon. Yeah, I've heard like there's people who can willfully control their pain. And there's several people who have like arthritis and things like that, which cause lots of pain. People with backache, really bad back problems. You know, they want to wean themselves off drugs. So they go through like various meditation practices to try and ease off the pain. Yeah. The Disclosure President, a bit of sedentary meditative state, but if you need to, you can do it while you're walking. Yeah. Well, walk in the fresh air is always good, and it gives you. I usually have earphones in, but it's still a good thing to do. I mean, I don't know how effective this meditative pain practice is, but most people, you know, a lot of people, especially people with back problems, will need some kind of painkiller. I mean, it could be like Hugo Rune has with his blow, you know, with his wacky backy. I'll be visiting Hugo Rune soon, by the way. Yeah, but it's other people use more conventional anti-inflammatories and things like that, analgesics. Yeah. Disclosure President Jack Parker. Incidentally, Donald Trump is just a man. I said just a man. Sounds like Blake Seven. He's just a man. Of course he is, and of course he's not working alone here. But he's still the public face of a movement, a political movement, which may have UFO disclosure as part of its agenda. And I think it does. This is why when I put the Disclosure President, I didn't do my usual thing, because I've done other videos with that title, that phrase in the title, but it's always had a question mark. This one didn't have a question mark. Jack Parker, we are the instruments of correction in government, not the prop leaders. I don't know what that means. Jack Parker. This is on the same. These are all on the Disclosure President. There's an oversimplified impetus in the air with Donald Trump, and also the guy over there who was trying to coattail off him. Right, oversimplified impetus. I mean, several people have said things like this, Jack, that he's brash and he's sort of like, he has this air about him, which is rather bumptious and unsophisticated, crude, almost anti-political. And I agree. But who's the guy trying to coattail off him? Who do you mean? There's several people you could fit into that. Jack continues, off of his serendipitous success. It's an oversimplification of humanity. It's anomalies in behavior and character, always changeable. We've all got to stop this insane dichotomy of liberal and conservative. It's cheap and conservative. It's cheap and lazy, reckless. There's not really good and evil. There's just stupid when it qualifies. Okay. I don't understand all of that, but the dichotomy of liberal conservative, yes, I do take your point. The people who call themselves liberal and conservative in the States tend to be either left-wing or right-wing centrists. They generally believe in the same things, with some with slightly more emphasis on state support and regulation, and less so. But generally, they want the same basic thing. It is cheap and lazy, and maybe even reckless, so in some cases and some circumstances, to suggest that you're getting a major choice for those two. Trump is outside that Overton window. There is good and evil, I would say, and stupid. They're stupid when it qualifies. You see, I don't go along with this idea. I mean, maybe you're implying the kind of like leave the world behind scenario, which Sargon was talking about the other day on the Lotus Eaters. That, oh, there's that classic line from that film. It's a very, very funny comedy. It's very, very misanthropic, but very funny. You think they're evil? They're not smart enough to be evil. You know, this idea that basically we're just ruled by a bunch of midwits who don't know what they're doing. That's more frightening than, I mean, Alan Moore, the comic book writer, he made this point. You know, people are scared there's some kind of evil genius conspiracy running the society. It's far worse than that. There's a load of stupid people running the society who don't know what they're doing. I don't agree. I don't actually think it's more comforting to believe that, actually. I think I'd be happier if there were just a bunch of stupid random events caused by stupid people in charge. I'd feel better that way, but there's not. There are very, very clever evil geniuses running a conspiracy that covers the globe to try and run society. Now, their genius is not infinite, it is breaking down. But it does exist. Jack Parker, every man is your friend. You make them that. If they're not, it's never a choice. They will love you, all of them. Don't worry, you can command this. Every man is not my friend. In fact, most men, and indeed most women, are I suppose irrelevant to me. There are a few who are openly hostile, and I keep them at arm's length. But do I make them that? Is it something I've done that's caused them to become like that? Maybe. Whether is it justified or not, I don't know. It is a choice. You say it's never a choice. It is a choice. It's a choice who you hang around with. I made the mistake when I was younger of basically doing what my dad taught me to do, which was just let everyone in and sod the consequences. If you meet bad people, just pretend they're good people. I don't do that anymore. That's a lesson I've learned. My dad is 76 years old and he hasn't learned that lesson yet. I've learned it at a much younger age, I'm glad to say. Jack Parker says, it will come across as a steadfast charisma. Well, I hope so, Jack. Some people say I'm charismatic. I do try to be. The Disclosure President, Neil Peel. You're sounding a lot better now, Ben. I think Trump will likely just launch more hearings and let those disclosure accounts build up through those. He may well, Neil. I think there will be more hearings, but I did get a bit better by then, New Year. But I mean, you know, I don't think it's a coincidence. We've had 3 or 4 different whistleblowers of varying levels of credibility appear literally the week before the inauguration, at the same time as the Israelis and Palestinians seem to be sorting their shit out, and they're going to start, and they've been releasing hostages and things like that. I don't think that's a coincidence. David Splendid Isolation says underneath to Neil, ideally, as president, after all he's been through, he'll say screw it and assemble a task force to go directly to the facilities. Grush and the others have said they house the crash retrievals and demand access in the name of the authority of the commander-in-chief. David, I'd like it to be that simple, but I don't think it will, because I don't think it's an exaggeration to say if Trump did that, the people in those facilities would open fire. They would literally, Trump would have to go in armed. Do you realize that? He would literally have to invade these facilities with armed force. In fact, in the book, you should have that book. In the book I've just sent you, Roswell Revealed, you should have it by now. David, by the way, I've sent David a copy of Roswell Revealed because he won the HPANWO Radio Truth Quiz. So that's his prize. There's a scenario in that book which is exactly like that. I think Trump knows this. It's a really frightening thing to think that these, it's like the guy who represented the Frost lawsuit. They got those guys at Area 51 who got poisoned. He said, there's no someone asked him if there are aliens there, and he raised an eyebrow. He sort of raised half an eyebrow and says it wouldn't surprise me. He says, you've got to understand, Area 51 is a legal black hole. There's no congressional oversight. There's no regulation. There's no executive regulation. Even the president of the United States himself can't just walk in there. You've got to argue, is Area 51, and by extension these other facilities, are they actually part of the United States at all? Or are they enclaves of some kind of super government? It's a frightening thing to think about. But, I think if Trump did that, there would literally be a shootout between Trump's military and, that is the US military, and whatever part of the US military or whatever kind of mercenaries are running these damn facilities or guarding these facilities. Scary to think about it. I think it's going to be less, I think it's going to have to be a little bit more subtle than that, David. Disclosure President Jack Parker. Oh God, Jack's going on about mucus again. Mucus has to be staged and then put into utilitarian motion process. Ambient fluids, all of this must be proper. Old age systemic dehydration. Whatever you say, Jack. Jack continues. Expected systemic failing, unenlightened failures. Jack says on this is on the same video. Very difficult terraforming process must be understood. Well, terraforming. I don't know if you ever read the Mars trilogy by Kim Stanley Robinson. I love those books, where they're actually terraforming the Mars and turning it into something like Earth. And then there's Anne, this character who doesn't want them to do that. And so there's Anne and her followers. It's quite amusing, that. Jack Parker says on Disclosure President, so much biology has been learned, and from where? Well, from the aliens, of course. I mean, you're talking about that Reddit scientist I was talking about. Yeah, I did an entire article about that. I actually covered that in detail on HPANWO Radio. How am I doing for time? Oh, 2 minutes left. Right. Jack says on Disclosure President, bodily processes can be transcendent to some degree. Yes, they're infecting our precious bodily fluids. This sounds like the script of Dr. Strangelove. Jack Parker, with human science, I think you might be, Jack. You might be a little bit more coherent if you put all these separate comments into one comment, or instead of like having them in separate sentences, having each sentence in a different comment. And of course, more so with the aliens, says Jack Parker. It takes a lot of brass ones, but you can climb up into one of those ships. It takes a lot of brass ones, guys. It takes a good pair of brass ones to do that. I would have to fight. My curiosity and fear would sort of battle each other out, I think. Again, in Roswell Revealed, there's a scene very much like that, as David is going to find out. Jack says on Disclosure President, paradigm shifts are a whole lot easier than you might imagine. Right. Paradigm shifts actually are, funnily enough, quite easy when they get going. When you get going with them, apparently, once the forces are released, they happen almost overnight. It's almost like punctuated revolutions, rather than a continuum. You get like nothing changes for ages, and you get like you get years and years of change in 1 week, as Lenin said. Jack says your voice changes for different reasons, like myself. You should get more range and control of the pitch if you have any music knowledge, especially your singing will be much better. Your ability to control the bravado, all spectrums of control. You must realize the myopic affinity that people have for others. Realize you embrace them with mentor-like assistance energy. Your proper place in the scheme. Do your duty to support others. All right. Well, funny enough, being a Welsh boy, I'm not a professional singer. I do like singing a bit of karaoke now and again, you know, and I sung Jerusalem very well in London, if you remember when I was on Newsnight. Yeah, but my voice has changed over the years. If you look at my earlier videos, I think the pitch has changed, and it may want to change permanently. It's certainly very, very long-term changes to my voice as a result of this cough I had, I'll tell you. Right. Oh, it's going to go off. Right. So that is the end of hour number 1. We'll be back with hour number 2 very shortly. All right, guys. I just want to show you something. I've just spotted while I was sort of just between parts of this video. I'll just go to screen share and show you this. This is just my feed page, and look here. Trump's UFO files declassification will change everything. Christina Gomez. Now, I like Christina. I think she's.
How are we saving people money? Well, the same effort we put into our baking.
It was streamed 19 hours ago. Trump hasn't declassified UFO files, has he? Let's just check the big black cock, see what it says. No? That's just the thing about these girls who were killed. No. Nothing, nope, nothing like that. Okay, so well, I'll watch Christina's video and see what it says. But anyway, let's get back on topic, shall we? Okay. So next question, Jack Parker says on UFO Disclosure 2025, the Disclosure President. Of course, aliens are not a monolith. Other. I think you mean either. Haha, I find the human variety of aliens extremely odorous at sometimes, especially when they drink one of their beverages of delight to excess. All right. That's like the Nordic type aliens. You find them onerous. What kind of beverages do they drink then? What I mean, if one of these guys ever calls round, what do I serve them with? Wine, beer, spirits? Gary Robinson says here, oh, this is quite a long comment. Hello, Gary. Good to see you again on Disclosure President. Ben, mate, if Yvette Fielding is featuring you in one of her shows, then it would be a great opportunity to gain more exposure and potentially make some connections with her industry. Right, mate. Well, I've been trying to find out where that is. Someone sent me a recording of it. I don't know where it comes from. There's nothing on her social media about it, so I'm wondering if it may be something that someone else tagged together, you know. I would plan some carefully crafted, well-written social media posts in which you should definitely tag her. Right, Gary, I will do that. If it ever turns out that if I find out where this actually was, I will put up a HPANWO Voice notice about it as well. I'll write an entire article on HPANWO Voice about it. For every post concept you come up with, make sure you create variations that are formatted correctly and optimized for each of the different social platforms. In other words, don't use one of those automated systems to send the exact same post to every platform, as that is the best way to make sure you don't get any traction. Anyway, the point being, if she sees you engaging, it's likely she will consult you for future projects, and she will most likely bring your name up with colleagues for the same reason. Cheers. Thanks, Gary. I'll try that. If I find out where exactly this happened, I will. I mean, I have met Yvette. I mean, as you know, if you watch my RawCon video, I actually met her briefly in Hull. And who's this? Someone says underneath, Philip MKM Ultra Sun Project says waffle. Oh, Gary's not. Oh, shut up. He's not waffling. Leave him alone, Philip. Thanks, Gary. The Disclosure President. Stan Smith says, stop drinking the tap water, Benjamin. They're putting that snake venom in it, flu-like symptoms. All right, I thought it was in the fog in the air, Stan. Benjamin. You know, no one's called me Benjamin since my mum did when my mum used to call me that when she was angry with me. Benjamin. She used to pronounce it Benjamin because she's a Dutch woman. Benjamin. Big Dangerous Dan says on Disclosure President, Ben, you've been beating this drum for years. There's never going to be a disclosure because there's nothing to disclose apart from military ops. Happy New Year, Jude. Well, Happy New Year to you too, Big Dangerous Dan, but I disagree with you totally. And I think I've explained many times why. And you've seen those videos, I know, because you do comment occasionally on these things. David Splendid Isolation says, post 2017, all bets are off. There's been increased disclosure already for anyone paying attention. That's right, David. You made that point previously, and it's a correct one. And you're quite right to make it again. Yeah. And once again, this triggers a debate. Dogman Barons, that's a good name. Dogman Barons says to David, no tangible evidence of extraterrestrials visiting Earth has ever been produced. The FLIR images do not prove alien visitation. The UAP hearings in Congress, etc., are a complete waste of time and the US taxpayers' money. All exclamation marks after all these sentences. People need to wake up and step off the science fiction entertainment merry-go-round. Oh my goodness me. You sound like Stephen Cambion. What a backslapper you are, Dogman. Firstly, the FLIR images do not prove alien visitation. No, they don't. But they also do not prove a jet exhaust and all these. They don't prove seagulls and all these other ridiculous things that Mick West is talking about. The UAP hearings in Congress were not a waste of time, and it's taxpayers' money very well spent. They have opened the door to some amazing legal precedents. And yeah, absolutely not. And people need to wake up. That's such a backslapper thing to say. Is people just wake up and be clever like us. Dogman, I totally disagree with you. And Big Dangerous Dan says to David, disclosure of propaganda. Red Snapper says, is this guy a troll? Well, I don't think so, no. These guys are not trolls. I mean, Big Dangerous Dan, I know very well. He's been posting for ages. Dogman Barons, I've never seen before. But no, he's not a troll. Dogman Barons has posted a disagreement. He's done it in a correctly formatted and rational way. So no, he's not a troll. And he's welcome to backslap as much as he likes on my channel. And I'm quite happy to challenge him where challenging is necessary. Tessa1111 says on the disclosure, President, it's good you don't have skin from the loss of, you don't have hanging skin from the loss of fatty tissue. Lucky Welsh. Oh, I do, Tessa. Well, it's sort of, to be honest, I noticed even after like a week, I've started to put weight back on a bit. But I did have like a big, a lot of my belly fat, most of it is gone. Most of it went, but the easily combustible stuff. But there's still, of course, there's the subcutaneous fat, which suddenly deprived of its inner support is now it's sort of like hanging down. I know this happens to women more than it does men, but it certainly happened to me, and it's actually not it's not that bad. I mean, it's not very sightly, but I mean it's something I could get used to. In order to lose that, you have to exercise very carefully, and you basically have to take the weight off. You have to keep it off for quite a long time. It can actually take years for your skin and subcutaneous fat to adjust to your new shape. Alternatively, you can just skip the queue or skip that and just have cosmetic surgery, which I can neither afford nor would I waste money on. Lucky Welsh, she says. Oh no, Tessa, I do. I mean, I won't show you what I look like. I'll keep my shirt on if you don't mind, but you can use your imagination. Not that it bothers me particularly, but I won't be skinny like this forever. I'm not going to stick to what I've been eating for the last 6 months. I'm not going to stick to that. No way. It's not worth it, man. It's not worth it. Paboros MZ says on the disclosure, President, new Trump had something to do with this. I think if you mean KNEW, yes. Or do you mean new Trump as in Trump's new term, his new term in office, his second term in office, which is going to be very different to the first. He's really going balls out on so many things that he was much more cautious the first time round. The disclosure, President David Splendid Isolation. Is it any coincidence that the worst cold and flu you've ever had has coincided with your big detox? What is the immune system up to during such times? Is it less effective until the detox is complete? That is an important question. That's a good question, David. Now, when I was doing my detox, I made sure I continued with nutritional food, with basic nutrition, including vitamin C for my immune system. However, it's possible that because of the sparseness of variety in my diet, I was missing out some nutrient that did affect my my health in that way, or at least my ability to to fight back against viruses, things like that. Alternatively, the cold and flu could have been caused or maybe just exacerbated by something in my body which was released when my fat was basically burnt up. It could be either of those things. I've had that suggested to me as well, and I don't know if it's a coincidence. I mean, a lot of people said the same thing. A lot of people who weren't on detoxes said, I had flu. It's the worst flu I've ever had. People everywhere seem to be getting it. Maybe it is this evil fog. Maybe it's something else. Maybe we went through a comet tail and it's like all that Chandra Singh panspermia raining down on us, you know. Max City says underneath to David, it also coincides with the Christmas period where most eat and drink a ton of crap. It's not unreasonable to assume that it would play havoc with your body if you were in the middle of a detox and took part in festivities for a while. Possibly Max City, although it began before then, because I ended my detox basically on Christmas Eve, but by Christmas Eve I was already pretty ill. In fact, I would say it's kind of peaked. Christmas Eve was the worst day, I'd say. It was the day when I went out to work and I was like, and I had to sit down when no one was looking because I was just like, I felt horrible. Really, really bad. No energy, feeling like very, very upset and everything. Right. The disclosure president, nothing as it seems. Ben, could you elaborate on what you said about the Oxford Martin School gets a lot of people involved in geoengineering? Some examples I found are Kelly Wasner of Silver Lining, the non-profit that led to the geoengineering program on a decommissioned aircraft carrier on the San Francisco Bay, and Sarah Doherty, scientist at the University of Washington and the program director. Right. And I posted a text comment to Nothing as it seems, saying, sorry I didn't explain in more detail. There's a video on my channel called Oxford Secret Science that goes into that detail. So yeah, there is a video that covers this. Nothing as it seems, where I talk about the Oxford Martin School. Now I know what you're talking about with the aircraft carrier. There was what it was an old aircraft carrier from the US Navy that they basically deliberately sank in shallow water in order to turn it into an artificial reef for coral. And this has been done several times with old shipwrecks. And the idea is that you can get more coral to help control, atmospheric carbon dioxide. Apparently, as you know, I'm not concerned about atmospheric carbon dioxide, but there you are. Anyway, Rick Horden says underneath that, Rick Horden says it's 38:59 classic. Okay, I've got a timestamp now. What's this?
I'll just say, call it he, and if I'm wrong, I apologise to the lady involved. But he decided to break these.
Oh right, yes, that's the Reddit scientist. Yes, it could be a she. I mean, they don't specify their gender. The disclosure president says on Neon Blues, so he will introduce Satan as usual. What do you mean introduce Satan as usual? What are you talking about? And what do you mean as usual? Has Trump ever introduced Satan before? He's one of the few. Trump is one of the few presidents they've ever had who doesn't introduce Satan. I'll tell you. Same video. Davis Blended Isolation. Moment of Contact is free to view on, and he gives. I won't say what it is, but he gives a video sharing site here. I won't say what it is because I mean, even though I know obviously it's going to proliferate, I don't want to be the enabler of copyright breaches. But I mean, I'm not going to pretend to you that it's not being. I'm not going to pretend to you that all these videos end up getting proliferated. I'll tell you what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Jeremy Corbell's thing, the UFO Revolution. I'm sure that's going to be somewhere or other, because if you try to watch it on Tubi, it's only visible in the US. It's a bloody pain in the arse. It really is. The disclosure president. Davis Blends Isolation. If there's an award for spamming a comment section, Jack Parker wins hands down. I don't think you can call it spamming, David. I think I'd choose another word for it, such as long-winded, multiple posts, comments with each sentence in a separate comment. Jack Parker would get a gold tinfoil hat for that, I'll tell you. But yeah, spamming implies he's selling or promoting something. He's not really. He's trying to communicate in his own way. The disclosure president. Dave Langston, so said here, I lost 3 stone and I cannot stand the cold now. I can't bear it now. I never used to wear jumpers, but now it's compulsory. Yeah, I mean, I found that too. I mean, it's actually a bit warmer today. It's actually quite mild, so I've taken the jumper off. But, you know, I never used to wear jumpers indoors until I started my detox. Yes, body fat is an insulator. It keeps you warm. It really does. Town of the Pigs. Red Snapper says, have you always been a fan of folk art? Yes. I've always looked at these things and really enjoyed them, and I've always felt it a bit sad that they kind of that you kind of lose them. I suppose they're a bit like those Buddhist sand mandalas. You know, they make these elaborate make these elaborate artworks out of sand. These Buddhists, these monasteries, and they just get a dustpan and brush and sweep it all away. And the reason they do it is because it's about the impermanence of everything. They make an illustration of the impermanence of everything. And of course, I know things are impermanent. An outdoor work of art is going to deteriorate very quickly in the environment. It'll get painted over by other things. It'll suffer due to the weather. It'll get washed off by various things. And, you know, but if I can record it and preserve it, that's good. I like that. And Red Snapper says, I find it's... All right, there's a timestamp here on Town of the Pigs. I find that a bit creepy and subversive. What's that?
Teddy bear.
It's... all right, it's...
MSC Yacht Club. Exclusivity and privacy in a world.
Teddy bear.
Oh, that was funny enough. I got the Secrets of the Old Bailey is next on the list. Oh, it's like a guy being picked up by one of those prize things, yeah, like in Toy Story, those little green things going, ooh, the claw. It's certainly a bit creepy, isn't it? Yeah, it's certainly very creepy, Red Snapper. Yeah, funnily enough, the next thing, this is the next thing on the list after that. Let me just show you. I accidentally clicked this one, Secrets of the Old Bailey. That's why I don't know why they suggest this to me. Maybe it's because of my Helen Duncan video. I don't know. Town of the Pigs, Amy Winehouse. All right, here's another. I might as well keep this on, actually.
Again, that person looks quite familiar.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yes, it's Amy. It's Amy Winehouse. You're right. Poor old Amy. Someone from the 27 Club, yeah, definitely. Poor old Amy. Left us much too young. Here we go, 25:30. I'm keeping screen share on for this bit because it's Red Snapper here. It's useful if you can just see what I'm doing.
Now, if you want to know more, watch the video I made of it. Yes, it's still on my channel, Weird 11 Reportage. So,
all right, yeah. How does one find the Weird 11 Reportage? Okay. Okay, so I'll find it for you. I'm helping you out here, only for Red Snapper, because you're such a loyal commentator. I'm happy to find it. Just go to the HPANWO TV blog, and it's Weird Weekend Norths of various kinds. There's Weird 11. Monday, 19th September 2011. There you go. You can watch the full video on Alt-Tech, or you can watch these different parts on. You can watch these different parts here on YouTube. I recommend going to Alt-Tech and just watching the whole thing in a row. It's much easier. Okay, I'll just go back to screen share for this. How did you go with such a large burger and chips? What's this?
Places which are out the way, like that one is.
All right. Did you go with a large? Did you go large with the burger and chips? Are the street cafes the best in Swindon? I don't know about, because I don't go to many in Swindon. Someone suggested I should go to the one where Stelios goes to, the guy from Lotus Eaters. I didn't see Stelios or any of the Lotus Eaters anywhere, but I did go large with it. Yes, it was very nice. Red Snapper says here, Godzilla approaches. What's this? Okay.
There's this noise that keeps appearing. Don't know if you can hear it. There.
Oh, yeah.
In this canyon of concrete and glass.
You're right, you're right. Honestly, Roland Emmerich couldn't have done it better. There we go. This is now Dorset Tour Part 1. I'll come off the screen share for this. Here we go. 4:43. Oh, this video.
Right. And the last time I was on a train,
oh yeah, I filmed myself talking to the guy. I filmed myself talking to the guy about cashlessness. Yeah. Oh, as you know, that happened on the way. Oh, on the way back from wherever it was. I can't even remember which video it was. On the way back from something, I found. Yeah, I was in the same position, wasn't I? Yeah. So the cashless agenda, he says, fascinating. So the cashless agenda is not being reversed, just different operators. It does seem that way on trains, definitely, yes. Red Snapper, yes. Funnily enough, my Dorset tour video is just, I've had a notice saying it's demonetized. Now, this doesn't bother me because I don't monetize my channel anyway. And I found out why. It's because I have that very brief clip from the Discovery, even though it's a very obvious case of fair use. I don't monetize my stuff anyway. Red Snapper's got another timestamp here. Gross LGBTQ wallet. What's that then? Let's have a look. You're not talking about me, I hope.
My diverse and inclusive.
Oh yes, that's if you remember, that's the do you remember I've still got it here somewhere. Where is it? Here we go. I've still got it. Because my card doesn't expire till July, so I'm keeping it in this. Yes. Yeah, it's a bit annoying that anyway. The Lights Below says "Embedded in the Desert" Part 1 of 3. 1957. It's a Premier Inn Plus. Oh right, yeah. That's my hotel room at the airport. I stayed overnight at the airport before I flew out because I didn't want to get up too early. He says it's a Premier Inn Plus room because you get a Lady of the Night, aka Roxanne, thrown in for free. I didn't. I'm afraid. Roxanne. Da, da, da. The original Roxanne from history was a princess. She was a Persian princess. So I don't know why they gave that name. Did you look in the wardrobe? You may have missed out. As they say, what goes on tour stays on tour. Just saying. Oh, by the way, Lights, could you email me? Something. I need you to send me an email, would you? Because I can't remember what your email is. I know it's somewhere in my contacts list. I can't remember your real name. I'm terribly sorry. But please email me because I've got an idea for something. I just wanted to let you know. So just email me. But no, I didn't get anything. It is obviously posher than normal Premier Inn room. I didn't ask for a plus one. I just asked for a normal one, but they gave me a plus one, which is all right. It's quite a nice hotel though. I did quite like it there. And you know, if I don't know what flight I'm getting this time, but I might stay there again if I'm getting an early flight this time round, because I am going back to Contacts in the Desert this year. Well, I bought the ticket, and so I'm sort of committed now. I've just got to get the money together for the rest of it. I still don't know how much it's going to cost because I don't know if Colin's going. If he is, I'll be able to fly with him. But even then, I've got some ideas for maybe a slightly longer trip. So I'll probably be flying slightly. I might be flying different dates to him anyway. All right, Dorset Tour Part 1, 1919. Those skeptics look like Green Party supporters or Liberal Democrat MPs. Yes, I think that was Rhiannon who said that. Was it Rhiannon?
There are branches almost everywhere. There's one in Bournemouth. There's a SIPP Bournemouth. Yeah, it's not far from here. There's one in Exeter as well. I don't know which one's closest to you, actually, but you can go along to either of these. Now, what they do is they usually hire a room.
It's still Rhiannon actually said, why do skeptics all look like Liberal Democrat MPs? Disclosure present. All right, this is the one I talk about. I think this is the one I talk about the issue.
I'll just say, call it he, and if I'm wrong, I apologise to the...
Yeah, that's you put that on before, Rick. I mean, it's fine. You can put the same comment on again more than once if you like. That's not a criticism. But yeah, this person, this Reddit scientist, doesn't specify what their sex is, whether they're man or woman. I couldn't just go around calling them they all the time, so I decided to assume it was male, being what the feminists would call an evil misogynist. I don't care, mate. I don't give a damn if I am. I said if this turned out to be a woman, I would apologize to her, but I don't know. We'll find. We don't even know who this person is or what happened to them because they disappeared from Reddit. I just hope they're okay because they just vanished from Reddit. Red Snapper. This is a signal from space. I love this video. It's a great one. This.
And I'm irresistible to women, and I have thousands.
Do an impression of Charlie Veitch. If you were paid enough, would you become like Charlie Veitch? I bloody hope not. I don't think I would. I think I've got enough integrity not to do that. I don't want to be I don't want the kind of channel that he has. Just running around trying to wind people up just for, he really, a lot of people were, I remember in the old days, a lot of people were very cynical about Charlie, and I was a little bit more, I gave him the benefit of the doubt in the old days, and, when he first, during the time when he went on the BBC and changed his mind about 9/11. But, his recent content kind of proves me wrong. He's literally just running a drama channel now. Plus a lot of other things. He claims certain things, like he'll express opinions like he supports Israel and not Palestine in this conflict. But I can't help wondering. I may be wrong. I apologize to him if I'm wrong. But I can't help feeling cynical and think the reason he says he supports Israel is because the Palestinian protesters are easier to provoke. They tend to be more aggressive and more impulsive, and they're easier to provoke than the Israeli protesters. A signal from space again. Red Snapper. Is the WOW signal proof of alien contact? No, it's not. Unfortunately, the WOW signal was just a one-off, which is very frustrating. It appeared and went in literally just about 4 minutes. And they went and looked for it again. They searched the same part of the sky many, many times. Ever since then, scientists, astronomers have turned their telescopes to that part of the sky, hoping it comes back. But it never has. It never has. So it's not proof of alien contact, unfortunately. It's possible. It's still inexplicable. The disclosure, President Red Snapper. Is this your worst ever cold? Yes. Now, I don't want to complain. Like I said, I was a hospital porter for 23 years. I saw people in situations I wouldn't even repeat. I still have nightmares about it sometimes. And believe me, it completely cured me of self-pity. But I felt as rough as a rough end of a pineapple for a good couple of weeks. That was the worst cold or flu I've ever had, yeah. Right, disclosure, President Red Snapper. Was America's vote for Trump a vote for hate? No, absolutely not. Red Snapper, I think you're winding me up again, aren't you? Absolutely not. Orange says here on Oxford Graffiti 10. That's a nice new video here. Nobody has done an alien painting. Well, there were a few. No, there were a few alien paintings. Black goo would be very easy to paint. Yeah, I'm Orange. I actually came across a piece of graffiti that I thought was someone trying to depict some black goo. It turned out it was just an oil spill. Right, so disclosure, President Chris Bird. Hello, Chris Bird, and another new viewer. Good to see you on your way back, Ben. Not sure about these rich saviors like Trump and Musk. They feed off the same system and serve the same masters. We fall for it every time. I suppose I agree with David Icke when it comes to these actors. All right, Chris Bird. I do think you come across there as a bit of a backslapper. You could turn out to be correct, but I don't think you are. Anyway, thanks for saying it's good to see me back. Anyway. I do think Trump is different. I think that Musk is different. I've got several videos explaining why. When I say backslapper, I mean no offense. That's just how I categorize. I'm not doubting your sincerity. I really am not. So I mean no offense. Ben in the Desert, part 3 of 3. The lights were low.
Razors, they can sell me.
Oh right, yes, the razors. Right, yes, I grew a rather itchy beard while I was over there because I didn't bring my razor with me. I took it with me to Las Vegas to Stairway to the Stars. I didn't take one there. I thought I could easily get one, but like I said, there was a shop. There was a shop I could buy one for. But it was like an hour's walk away, and I thought, in this, how hot it was there. It was like 100+ degrees Fahrenheit. I thought I would never live to do that walk. Not a cold-loving British person like me would never live that long. But so I just put up with it. But that's what Light says. That's what Amazon is for. Sometimes same day delivery USA, delivery to your hotel. Just say, can you buy razors on Amazon? Can you? Let's have a look. Actually, I don't want to Google it because I'm logged in at the moment, and if I Google it, I'll just get loads of ads for razors. So do you mind if I don't Google it, Lights? I'll take your word for that. I said here, hi everyone, I've uploaded a TikTok video. Whitey won't let me post a link. And Muck FC Governor says they don't allow TT links. No, they don't allow me to post comments with on. They don't allow me to post my TikTok channel on YouTube. No, the comments don't appear. And I actually put a text comment here saying not on my channel. Yeah. Right. And someone, Maka the Gypsy, says on that same notice, which I put on the community page, "You're mad, Ben. You're mad." Maka says completely off the rails, man. He's not. I'm not. Okay. Mysterious Earth 2024. Oh, I know what this is. There's a timestamp here. Oh, yeah.
I think she's finally off the phone. She spent the last half hour having a row with her boyfriend. She's been swearing her head off. Really loud voice. Good job there are no kids on this train.
All right, yeah, this was when I was on my way to Mysterious Earth. I went on the train. And there was a woman a few seats in front of me, like mouthing off on her phone, crying, or she's crying, alternately crying and shouting. Thank God. Oh, she got off at bloody Birmingham International, thank God. Or was it Coventry? She got off anyway. I didn't have to put up with her all the way. Oxford Graffiti 10, Lance Corporal. Another good archive of Oxford art. Thanks, Ben. You're welcome, Lance. I'm working on another one right now. Mysterious Earth 2024. All right, this is, what's this here? Timestamp.
But anyway, I'm on here. It's the private booth.
Oh yeah, it's actually, I was joking. The private booth is actually where it's a staff thing. I think it's where the conductor sits. They do have private booths on some trains, but God knows how much they cost. Oh, I hate traveling by train. I really do. Mysterious Earth 2024, Red Snapper, 1501. What's this? Okay.
See, there's the mortar between the bricks. You see how it's brown? It's been stained. All right, it's been stained by years and years of exposure to coal soot in the days when they used to have steam locomotives.
All right, yeah.
That's how you know it's...
Lol, Jude, I was thinking you were going to go on an anti-smoking round there. It's been stained years and years of exposure to tobacco smoke. No, that was the wall of the Porter's Lodge. It was a very famous nicotine, sort of a nicotine brownish yellow. I remember the walls of the Porter's Lodge, but before they banned smoking in it, yeah. No, it's Preston Station is a lovely, sweet old station. I loved it. I love it very much. I hope I hope they don't ever renovate it. Right, the lights were low, says on Ben in the Desert Part 2 of 3. Timestamp.
About black budget aviation. Now, this is really weird, right? Because since 1970, the black budget has increased like many times, and it seems that this is the problem with statism. And
all right, hang on. Oh, right. The Lights Below says, but hi Ben, silly question, but if the black budget is just that, then how does anyone know how much it is or how much a screw or ratchet is being charged at? Seems unlikely this information on such a budget is available via the Freedom of Information Act request. What does he say is his source? It makes a good talk, but, right, good questions, very good questions. Right, firstly, we know how much the black budget is because the overall Department of Defense budget is published. Nick Cook actually made this point in he made this point. I don't know if I can find the bloody thing. Let's have a look, because he describes it very well. But basically, if you, along with the budget, there's like a breakdown of all the different things. $1 billion secret, and then if you tot up all the different breakdowns together, and you put them all together, add them all together, they're not the same as the overall statement budget. So that way you can like subtract one from the other, and you get the black budget. I'll answer that question first. It was actually Nick Cook. He describes it very well here. I'll just find the right spot in this video. Find it.
The Lockheed-built Blackbird. For years, its performance.
My specific request about
I may not be able to find
releasing information about black programs, especially about Aurora, if it exists.
Are you yourself
watch
a
this,
believer
though?
in Aurora?
This is very good.
Well, if I had to bet the mortgage, I would probably come
find the
down
right
on the
segment.
side of
I can't
saying,
find the right segment, but he just explains. He just explains it there. Like he says, there's an actual total budget for the Department of Defense, and then there's all the different separate segments for all the different separate departments have their own budget. But if you add them all together, you're left with a discrepancy, because if you subtract all the little different separate ones from the main budget, the amount, you get something left over. That's the black budget. And if you keep doing that every year, you can work out how big the black budget is, and therefore you know how much it's expanding by. And as for the screw or ratchet being charged, well, that's actually not classified. It's according to Michael Schratt, that information is freely available. You can actually get it via FOIA. It's actually, I think it is unclassified anyway. So that's how I think that's how it works. I think that he did explain that, but that's two good questions. I'll see if I can find any clarifications for the second question there. I will. Oh, by the way, there's better copies of that, because this particular copy, I must say, it misses out the first 5 minutes, which is there's others that don't. So here we go. It starts here. Right, that's not the beginning of the documentary, so you're better off finding another copy of it somewhere else. There's loads all over the place, but you misses the first 5 minutes. Thanks, Lights. Stun for Oxford Graffiti 10 for Stun 450N says by 7 and must one from the MES crew. Oh right, right. So this is an attribution. Thank you very much. So this is this one here, right?
Particular pub here on Cowley Road. I'll just show you where it is in case you want to drop in.
Right, that's the sea monster, yeah.
The Cthulhu thing.
Yeah, that's it, right. Thanks. Well, thank you very much, Stum. That's great. Thanks for that attribution. And Stum also says here on the same video, well done for documenting all of this. The Red Bridge and Oliver Road underpasses will be getting new works on the 1st and 2nd of February with a paint jam organised by the MES crew. Right. Right, well, thank you for letting me know. I'll be sure to head. I know where that is. I actually used to live on Oliver Road. I lived there for about 4 years. Great. I'll have to head there and with my camera when they finished, and I will have a look and see what they produce. And that will be in my next Oxford Graffiti video. Thank you very much. And now we have just the disclosure president and Steve Mumbling. Steve Mumbling says, Grush will be happy to tell his science fiction stories to anyone that can't check them out. He won't talk to Arrow, lol. He did. He said he would talk to Arrow. He said, but Sean Kirkpatrick said he couldn't find his phone number. Why does anyone give that clown the time of day? Oh, David Grush. You leave David Grush alone. No wonder Ross Coulthard told him to delete his social media. They're not science fiction stories. He's testified under oath. You can't go under oath in Congress and tell science fiction stories. You'll end up in jail because you have to, you can be, that's perjury, Steve. That's perjury. One of the people at the, I think it was the Nixon hearings, he went to jail because he lied. Why would Grush risk losing everything and going to prison by telling science fiction stories? He put a hand up and he said he swore to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Matthew Livelsberger was very obviously paranoid and delusional. Put a line through any of the gravitic propulsion nonsense. Why? Why put a line through it? Do you think, why would he make this up I mean, I don't know. He was in a very, very bad state mentally. Otherwise, he wouldn't have blown himself up. And it's sad that he did that. Why would he do that when Trump won the election? I don't know. Because he was apparently very pro-Trump. But I'm not going to put a line through it because I think for reasons I've explained, I think there's more to this than you think. And the fact that this man was talking about it in his suicide note, I think is significant. I mean, I wish he hadn't done that. I don't know why he did that. There's other ways he could have got this point across without pulling this terrible stunt, which cost him his life. It seems he was very keen to avoid hurting anyone else. I mean, he drove out and came back again when there were fewer people around, but still. Disclosure, quote unquote, isn't coming because there's nothing to disclose. Stephen Batshit will die still screaming for something that can never come. You leave Steve Bassett alone. And I don't agree with you. There is going to be, and you are going to, Steve, you're going to have to take all this back. You know that. And you said you will. I look forward to it. David Smith says underneath, any day now, Steve. David Smith, as usual, is being sarcastic. Red Snapper says on Mysterious Earth 2024, would you ever consider producing business cards? It's not a bad idea, actually, Red Snapper. It's not a bad idea to do that because people ask me things. Yeah, definitely. All right, the alien interview. Oh dear. Now this is Victor Nevada. I had to block him on Facebook. He's just. I'm not gonna give details. It's a personal thing, but I have blocked him on Facebook. But I haven't blocked him on YouTube. But I did do the alien interview update with Jon Stewart, and the alien interview says, "Who is John? He's Jon Stewart crazy. This guy, he really is. He's got a real hate on for Jon Stewart. It's unbelievable. I've never met never met anyone so obsessed. Why don't you do a follow up about Stewart's Stan Dale is Victor blunder and the fact that he has since run away from ufology? The silence is deafening. Are you embarrassed about giving him a platform or something? No, Andrew, I'm not. And you say, why? What have I run away from? Am I embarrassed? You say, what no follow up? Let's have a look. Have you not seen this? I think you have because you commented on it. Here we go. Right. Where is it? Oh, where is it? Hang on. Where the bloody hell is it? There we go. What's this, Andrew? What's this? You've seen this. I shared it with you. You've commented on it, I think. In fact, you might. Oh, no, you didn't put a comment on this. You put a comment on Facebook before I blocked you. Alien interview, case closed, a review. It's all here. And I actually explain why I am doubtful about this. I do explain actually why I'm doubtful about this. I think I mentioned at one point there was reasons to doubt that Victor is Stan Deo. Not least the fact that two men have a very different accent, if you recall. I think I said here, Victor does not have this person's deep South accent. Yeah, Stan Deo talks like that. He talks like that. He has like a riverboat accent from the deep South, and of course Victor doesn't, and he never lets that slip in all the interviews he gave. And again, he does have from people who've met. I know some people who've met Stan Deo, and they say he is a little bit bitchy, which could indicate that he does have a similar personality, unlike Gary Schwartz. But Jon Stewart has, you say he's run away from ufology. He has essentially left this now. Now, I think you're being unfair to John there, because John did say long ago that once he released this video, that'll be it. He said he'd release the film, and then that'll be the end of it. He'd released the movie, and then he said, I've done my job, I'm going to stop this now. And he has, and I don't think there's something wrong with that. Why should he continue? He kind of has done everything he can. I'm not embarrassed about giving him a platform. I don't retract a single thing I've said about him, nor anything that he has said. I have questioned some of the things he said. I'm doubtful that Stan Deo was Victor. It's possible, but I think very unlikely. I don't think John has gathered enough evidence to prove that it's Victor. I think calling it case closed, I think, is premature. And we could have discussed this in a civil manner if you hadn't just blown up at me the way you did, because you need to look in the mirror. Andrew, look in the mirror and just think to yourself, why am I being like this? Why am I acting like this? over somebody. All he's done is disagree with you. That's all he's done. Why are you so belligerent and angry about it? Why are you so put out about all this? You don't own this case, Andrew. The alien interview is not your property. You are one of the three principal researchers into this, along with John, along with the late Sean David Morton. I'm doing a HPANWO show about him this week, by the way. But it's not you don't own it. How do you think? I don't own the Penturk UFO incident. I am the ufological journalist who broke that story, and others like the paranormal scholar have come along, and then bedtime stories. They've come and they've stolen all the light. You could say they've stolen the limelight from me. They've done their own videos about it, their own commentary, which is far more popular than mine. Even though in some cases they didn't even go and interview Kaz. I'm the first person to interview the second witness, things like that. But I'm not in this for my ego, whereas you sound like you are. Get over yourself, Andrew. Get over yourself. Right, the 5 people you meet in heaven watch Read Party review. Green Tea says, I never received notice of your previous videos about this book. I'll have to go back and watch. Green, I don't know why that is, mate. I don't know why that is. It's really annoying that people click the bell and they don't get notices. It's annoying when people post comments which disappear. I regularly check my spam folder for them and they're not there. Orange says here on 5 people review, please do not give birth to an alien, Ben. Orange, I will do my best, I swear. The Disclosure President, Orange, says, I've just seen 2 OAPs, Nick Pope and Professor Simon Holland. Not UAPs, OAPs. I think Simon is probably a little bit older than Popey. Red Snapper says on Mysterious Earth, here we go, 141.
Is that I don't think Dan Brown, you see, is as much as a rebel as people think he is, because if you ever read Angels and Demons, which is a bloody...
What's this? How did Dan Brown make such a bad book in Angels and Demons, and then such a brilliant book in the Da Vinci Code? Do you think he wrote the second? Do you think he wrote the second book? I don't know, Dan. I mean, Red Snapper. Sorry, I don't know, because I read the Da Vinci Code first, and then I went back to check out Angels and Demons, and I was very disappointed by it. Very disappointed indeed by Angels and Demons. Awful book. And the film was the only reason I went to see the film was because my girlfriend wanted to see it. He's written other. I mean, I've read, what other books have I read by him? I think it's only Inferno, which is actually pretty good. I did a watch read party for that, if you remember. Again, Ron Howard made a film of it, which wasn't very good. No way. The Da Vinci Code movie by Ron Howard was really good. It was a great adaptation, but the Inferno one was pretty trashy, actually, compared to the book. Not least that the plot at the end is completely different. 5 people review. Hatchy. Hello, Hatchy. Bloody hell, Ben. How long has KBS been deceased? And we're all here now, going nowhere. Kev's been gone for 3 years, just over 3 years. And I think we're all here going nowhere. I think you mean, is that a pun? Or do you mean we're all here going nowhere? I don't think we're going nowhere, Hatchie. I think we're going somewhere. And Kev helped us while he was with us. Right, Mysterious Earth, 2:34, 45. Was this video really that long?
Sticks in the cathedrals and things like that. I recommend my video York.
All right. Red Snapper says, where can I find a York video? I'll show you, Red Snapper. I'll show you. This is a great video. It's one of my favorites, actually. Thanks to Lily Brunton, who was a brilliant hostess, and I'm very grateful to her. Here we go, York. There it is. Oh, sorry, I've got to put it on screen share. There you go, York. 10th of May 2022, I uploaded that. Not least, it was part of my tour. It was part of my tour, which involved my secret infiltration of OLM in Hull. So I was on a bit of a high anyway when I did that. 22. Who's a 22? This is Red Snapper. There's a timestamp. 1st century MGTOW.
Peter, who says women are not worthy of life. Blimey, he was a 1st century MGTOW.
Yes. Oh, I was quoting Lynn Picknett, who said that she was quoting someone who said women are not worthy of life. 1st century MGTOW lol, says Red Snapper. And then finally, Red Snapper says here on Mysterious Earth 2024, good video. I enjoyed this one. Thanks, mate. I enjoyed doing it. I will not I will try and learn from my mistakes. And I made the same mistake in Manchester, actually, at QED. Yeah, but it's worth paying a little bit more to get a hotel closer to the venue. It really is. Oxford Graffiti 9. 617, Drain and Able, lol. Yeah, that made me laugh as well, Drain and Able. Oxford Graffiti 9. There's a timestamp here. Some of this woke street art is ghastly. I think I'll put on the screen share again.
Tackle the climate emergency.
Oh, it is. It is. I mean, to be honest, I admire the style. I admire the art. I admire the art, but not the conceptual side of it. I can enjoy the artistic element without endorsing its sentiment. Yeah, it's unfortunate that's the case. And Red Snapper. Oh, right, this is the same thing. Eunice Newton. It's the same scene with that particular signboard. Eunice Newton was basically one of the pioneers of the greenhouse effect plus women's rights campaigner. Basically a shill. That's why she's on the art. Oh dear.
1819 to 1888.
Oh right. Okay. Yeah. I see what you mean. And then Red Snapper says a great video. Thanks very much, Red Snapper. And now we come on to QED Conference 2024. All right, here we go. This is the one when I was at Manchester I just mentioned. Red Snapper says 2551. Lol, that Lib Dem MP, look about them. Oh, it was Rhiannon who said that.
Well, it looks like this is the place. This is sort of like a gathering place. All these people I think are here for QED. They've got that look about them, makes me think they're skeptics. So I've ordered myself a drink, and I'm just there's a lovely view out the window. So
yeah, it was Rhiannon who came up with that. Yeah. Red Snapper says on QED 2024, were you invited to sit and converse with those arrogant skeptics? And then he says, okay, you talk about them here. Oh yeah, I did. Yes, believe it or not, they just, I mean, I don't think they didn't come across as arrogant. They came across as very nice. I mean, they didn't know me from anything. They laughed at me when I was going towards the mirror and thought someone was coming towards me. And they just thought I was someone. They said, well, sit down and have a chat, you know. And I did, and we got on very well. Despite the fact, I mean, I wasn't too open about who I was, although I'm sure Marsh would have filled them in afterwards. Yes. Red Snapper says on QED, do you still follow Art Bell? And there's a little bell emoji here. I do, yes. I still listen to some of his old shows every now and again. I mean, he was part of my growing up process. He was part of my upbringing, was Art Bell. Yeah. And then Red Snapper says on QED, I don't think that was Ironside. Oh, right. Yeah. It may not have been. I think there's more than one wheelchair using, I don't like to say crackhead, Charlie's term crackhead. And the homeless people, there's more than one that has a wheelchair. And I think there are at least two guys. Ironside is the guy it's horrible. Charlie winds him up and the guy, he tries to catch him. This guy's only got one leg and he goes round in a wheelchair and he's like kicking with his one leg and swearing at Charlie, and Charlie sort of like taking the piss out of him. I think there's more than one of them. You're right, Red Snapper. I did look around for Crutchy. I couldn't find Crutchy anywhere. Charlie's made these people celebrities. Red Snapper says, seems much more professional though, and thorough a skeptic conference. Whiz Bang Tech, and there's a timestamp here. I'll just have a look at it.
And he's like, oh, right, yeah.
Yes, it is. Actually, technically, it's very elaborate. So was QED. So was TAM London. I mean, this was another skeptic conference I went to in 2010, I believe. Yes. They're quite high budget, these skeptic conferences. Red Snapper, is Manchester the first cashless city? No, there's others. Unfortunately, there are what you call these, what's the word they use for them? Demonstration, I forgot the word they use for them now. But Glasgow was one of them, I remember. And Singapore was one. What's the word they use for these cities where they bring in all this all this new technology and new kind of like authoritarianism. They had some stupid, sentimental, kind of ridiculous, like euphemistic name for them. Something City. It'll come to me in a minute. 5 people review. Tessa says here, isn't it time for hope and sentimentality? Seems movies left it all behind for horror and gore. I much prefer Serenade with Mario Lanza, based on a book, but much was added. Some movies take time to tell a story, and humans need sentimentality to share life struggles. That's a great comment, and I agree. And I don't mind longer movies. I mean, you know, just imagine. I mean, I've got the DVD of The Green Mile, which is, you know, if you watch regularly, I've often said is one of my favorite movies. It's like 2 hours 45 minutes. It's an epic, and there was a lot of pressure on the producers to like cut that down to like an hour 40. And just imagine they'd done that. Imagine how awful it would be if they managed to cut that down to an hour 40. You know, the Green Mile is an experience, just like Cloud Atlas or the Lord of the Rings movies. They're long; they're almost 3 hours long, which allows you time to sit to really get into them. I don't like soundbite feature films. I don't understand why the studios like them, because it means they can have more screenings and make more money off them off a single screen. But no, I mean, this is about art. QED, you need to do Manchester Graffiti as a timestamp here. I think it's probably one of the graffiti ones. Let's have a look. I think it's probably one of the some. Look at
that. Nice graffiti there.
Oh, it's the graffiti at Cottager's Cove, which isn't that nice. But yeah, Manchester Graffiti. Well, I could do a special Manchester Graffiti video, but I mean, it'll be a bit more difficult than doing Town of the Pigs, because it'll be a much longer journey. And this in the same scene, Red Snapper said, "I feared for you in case the pusher emerged." Well, do you remember that guy? There was that guy coming down towards the towpath, and he turned around and walked back when he saw me there. I think the pusher doesn't come out during the day, I think. Red Snapper says he kicks you back in the pusher. Charlie Veach is a good kicker. Could be a suspect. Oh no, I don't think it's Charlie Veach. The pusher goes back to long before Charlie Veach was living in Manchester, and Charlie Veach does the kick of Kabul. The kicker, he does these big long high kicks on people when they come for him. QED, did you take your pint into the quiet room? No, I don't think you're. I only went into the quiet room a couple of times, and it was. And I felt. Firstly, I didn't film in there unless when there were other people there. But I just felt it was almost like a sacred. It's like they have these sanctuaries at the Findhorn community. When I was there, it seemed inappropriate, if that's not a word. Red Snapper says QED was one of your best vlogs. Enjoyed it. Thanks, Red Snapper. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did, mate. Right, the 5 people you meet in heaven read watch party live stream. Rick Bowker says, "Hi Ben, are you still part of the Apollo Detectives?" Yes, I am. I haven't. I'm actually hoping. I've actually just got in touch with Rob, who runs it, and I'm going to hopefully be on the next one. I had to skip a couple. The first time I got the time zone wrong. The second time I was literally just too tired. 5 people live stream. Ravenhill, Times of Law, 1968. He's changed his name again. Good evening, Ben. Congratulations on your weight loss. Well, thank you very much, but it's not going to last long, I don't think. Right, Melvin Sherman has sent me more stuff from Styx. Again, multiple YouTube accounts here. Multiple YouTubes here. I'll just click one of them and have a look.
All right, everyone. The U.S. Navy has come out to.
All right, I've seen this one. This is a more recent one he's done here. The Great UFO Foible. I think this is when he was a bit more skeptical, because the first one you sent me was actually quite old. And he says here, Styx is a weird one. Oh, he certainly is. Unlike Dave Cullen, aka Computing Forever, he does believe in UFOs and aliens. But unlike you, Ben, I think I said before, and will say until you do his video, he doesn't believe, let's say, aliens would have the tech to go to our planet. He would say the same, a rocket ship can't go to the other solar systems. He believes aliens exist, but he doesn't believe aliens are A, evil, or B, the alien would not going to attack our planet because we are a whole. Because unlike Dave, he found the idea that we are the only life form in the universe to be silly to him. Does Dave think that? Did Dave Cullen think that? Oh, he's wrong then if he does. I said this before, but to quote what I found on all the tropes, he believes that Atlantis might have existed, but he doesn't believe the steampunk-esque visions of it put forward by people like Ignatius Donnelly and Helena Blavatsky. Like it, watch the video. All right. I'll just watch. Well, there's an awful lot of links here you've got for me. What's this? Well, that's the Great UFO Fable again. That's the same video. What's this one then? Try this one. This is a different one.
All right, YouTube, time for yet another.
Okay, this is an old one. He's young there. A cult video. I think well, he's still young now. I think he's only in his late 30s, but he's much younger there. Atlantis and Atlantean lore. Thanks. I didn't used to watch him in those days, you know. I started watching him probably about 4 years ago. Okay, so, but thanks, Melvin. Obviously, no, I disagree with. It's funny because, like, I remember the UFO foible video and thought he was overly cynical. And it seems like he believes in, like you say, he believes there's aliens out there, but they couldn't get here. Well, that's stupid because we're designing spacecraft that could go to other planets. I've done an entire video on this. In fact, I've done a live presentation that's been recorded several times called SETI and UFOs, where I make the point we're designing starships. We haven't built them yet. We've designed them. And so perhaps, Pray, you could tell me why, if we're designing these things, that somehow, if we're designing them, why if we can get ours to work one day in the future, who's to say that a society or civilization with vastly increased technology for much more time to develop it could not do the same? Why couldn't they build craft that could reach us? It's strangely illogical. I make this point. Do watch my SETI and UFOs videos. There's several versions of them over which I've done. I think what was the best one? Probably maybe the Sufon one. Did I do it at Sufon? I'm doing that talk again, actually, a couple of times. So, yeah, that's the end of an hour, I believe. Yes, it is. So, back for hour number 3. It's a bit longer this time. All right, guys, here I am back for hour number 3. So, I'm not using the timer because I don't think it's going to be that long this time. But I'm now sort of within the last 12 days of the end in terms of list of comments. So, it shouldn't take another hour. But reply to comments 104, YouTube. The Lights Below says, can you tell us what the new film showed? Mr. Stewart suggested it was definitive, was it? Well, yeah, I mean, he did. In fact, it's not a secret. But it was until he revealed it. But he believed it was Stan Deyo. He believed Stan Deyo was Victor. Now, I don't think it was. He does, but John thinks that that's it. It's all over because that's why he called his video. He calls the movie Case Closed, and indeed, that's I think is not a very good title. I think what he's revealed, I think what he's researched and what he's revealed is very, very interesting indeed, and it's a possibility. And he's done a hell of a lot, along with Andrew and along with Sean. Yeah, John has done a hell of a lot to bring this subject out, but there's a lot of speculation in the Stan Deyo thing. I mean, there's some resemblance and things like that, some other evidence he brings to bear, but there's reasons to doubt it as well. So, but I think it's worth seeing. I think it's definitely worth seeing. You can still buy it on his website. Conclave, a new one. Conclave. Tessa says the Conclave book is very detailed, and the wild ending made me think of Pope Joan. Oh, I've never actually read the book, Tessa, but Conclave Film Review. This is my roving film review I did, which is quite fun. I got to do the auditing as well. Reply to comment 60. My goodness, this is going back a few years. And Lights for Low says, you have a knack for voices. Give us a minute of them. Scots, South African, Welsh, Northern Irish. Oh, God. I can't. No, South African landlady. No, the only water here. All right, yeah. Oh, Mrs. Yes. I'm a Scottish person. No, I'm South African. My name is Mrs. De Blanche, but I come from Wales, so I always speak with a Welsh. But I always speak in a Welsh way like that. But sometimes I pretend to be Miles Johnston, so I speak with this harsh Ulster accent, and there's black goo and Scotland's everywhere. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you like that, Lights Below. The eve of Trump live stream, nothing as it seems, says here. Professor Simon speaking about what Jake Barber saw. I saw that, yes. I saw that. I'm not. I think he's. If I remember rightly, I think he was. I don't quite go along with what he said.
Oh, good morning. We're all waking up after
Here he
the
is.
Ross Coulthard Jake Barber interview. Excellent work, Ross and team at News Nation.
Do you see why he calls himself Professor? Do you realise it's just a joke? Look at him. I mean, that's why he calls himself Professor. Yeah, I think if I remember, I don't think I went along with him because he said, "Oh, it's nothing." I think he was a lot less impressed with it than I was, if I remember rightly. Same video. Orange says, "Make Ben Emlyn-Jones great again." How can you do that, Orange, when I'm already great? Same video. Ben, we've been delivered with an egg on a 150 feet piece of rope. Oh, yeah. It's just an egg, guys. It's just an egg. I mean, the egg thing has like become a bit of a national joke. But, you know, to be fair, I mean, I don't think it's not. People have dismissed it too hastily. I mean, it's not what we hoped for. I think it was overhyped, and they maybe shouldn't have been quite so keen to say, well, this is the last word, as Ross called. This is really amazing, and it is a true crash retrieval. It just shows what some kind of object that's ovoid. And as Richard Dolan said, Richard Dolan did an entire video saying there are ovoid UFOs. And it might have been that, but it was a 5-second clip. And it turns out it wasn't even the same event that Jake Barber was involved in. Where it came from, we don't know. Could it be fake? Yes. Could it be a balloon? No, I don't think so, because a lot of people have said, well, they don't carry balloons like that on a helicopter. But still, it's tantalizing as always. And of course, the backslappers have been very cynical about it, as they always are about everything. It's Eve of Trump live stream. Dark Corners Beyond says, "Hey Ben, have a bit of a break from social media. My mental health has not been so good recently, but had to tune back in for the Trump inauguration live stream. Hope you're keeping well. The detox has certainly has had a positive effect, I can see." Oh, thanks, Dark Corners. I'm sorry you've not been too well. I hope you are feeling better soon. And it's great to have you back. I hope you really did enjoy that live stream. Apart from that's the last one I did on YouTube, actually. All the others have been Alt Tech exclusive since then. And I am going to come onto the Alt Tech in my Alt Tech annex of this particular reply to comments video. EA Audits said, search unedited Hutchison effect, 2 hours of rare 1988 footage. Yes, that's on the MES channel, I think. Maths Easy. Is it Maths Made Easy or is Maths Easy Solution? But he had it, I think. It's called Maths Easy Solutions. Yeah. He had it on there, I think. Loads of stuff. Yeah, there's loads of stuff by I don't know if you've seen this channel. It's quite good. Andrew Johnson got me into this of all people. But there's loads of stuff. There's actually 5 hours here of Hutchison stuff. And he does a lot of live streams too. There's Andrew holding the Star Child skull. I don't agree with him on everything, but he does a lot. He covers the whole Hutchison effect quite well, actually. As a result, he passes Andrew Johnson's very stringent ideological purity test. But thanks, EA Audit. Yeah, I will search for that. I mean, there's several copies of it. I do believe John Hutchison was for real. Dark Corners Beyond says here on Bases 2024 Christmas seminars. Hi Ben, just catching up on some old videos I've missed while on my social media detox. I think we all need those from time to time. So Dark Corners, I think there's an awful lot there for you. Eve of Trump live stream. Hugh Jarsol. Hello, Hugh. Says, who was that American Conspiracy Radio podcast host again? Jeff somebody. And I actually replied by text, Jeff Rentz. Yeah. Notice of Alt Tech exclusive. No! Macca the Gypsy says, you are insane, Ben. At least I can spell insane. It doesn't have a Y in it, but who would tell you who wants to be sane in this bloody world? Sane people are terrifying and horrible. Same video. Orange said, Trump is already pushing something I can't say on YouTube. Looks like he's just another puppet. And Orange, I think you're under a misapprehension there. Possibly it's disinformation. Do you really think RFK Jr. would let him do that? Honestly, I don't think he is. Melvin Sherman says here, here we go. This is just literally the notice for my 2 Alt Tech videos here. Also, Ben, I think you should defend sticks. What's this? This is another Sticks Hexenhammer link. Is this? Welcome. This.
Up one
short, very long title sequence for such a short video.
Subscriber at a time.
I've seen this guy before somewhere.
Rich and has a lot of the things. There's also video to get you banned or with the firm come into. But then again, there is no evidence to support the existence or the.
Right. Oh, right. Okay. What I'll do, I'll leave that open actually. Right, you are, Melvin. I'll check that out. But Melvin says here also, Ben, I think you should defend Sticks. I think I said before, but every time I see or think about him, I want to see an X-Files type of show. There's the conspiracy theory guy, and he's super chill. That could be me. I could be in that. He goes, yes, aliens are real, but I don't believe aliens can travel to our planet. Yeah, or he doesn't. Aliens exist in our solar system, but it would exist in another solar system. They don't have the tech to go to our planet. Why I want conspiracy theory guy going, yes, aliens are real, but I don't think they can go to our planet. If alien was real, I would be more on Sticks. Melvin, I think your idea for an X-Files spin-off is a great idea. X-Files type show with me and Sticks, yeah. Yeah, but I'll have a read of that. I'll have a watch of that because I like Sticks. I mean, I like his political commentary. I disagree with him on a lot, just like I do Dave Cullen. But I do like both of those guys' political commentary. So yeah, I will check that. I'll check that out. Video ban 12, Red Snapper. What would you do if you were banned from all platforms, including BitChute, AltTech, etc.? I would be like the Count of Monte Cristo, who was in his prison cell and could never get out, and the guy would never come through, the priest would never come through digging a hole. That's what I would be like. I would be the loneliest man on earth. God forbid that ever happens. Ben Emlyn-Jones at the Mablethorpe group. Oh, I like this. 353. No smoking, no touching. Damn nanny state. Oh, this is, I think, the London Underground, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, yes. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to get rid of some of these. Where is it? Where is it? Is it here? Oh, let me just close some of these. I'll leave that open because I want to come back to it. Touching someone inappropriately is sexual harassment. Yeah. In other words, you brush past them accidentally on the escalator, and she's had a bad day, and she says, "Well, I will report this person because I'm a woman who's been hurt, and you have to do." Oh dear. Yeah, that's the way things are. No damn nanny state. Yeah, I mean, obviously there is a distinct definition of the Macintosh man with the loose hands, right? But the feminists have deliberately fuzzed the situation, they've messed everything up, and they've confused people. So almost anything a white man does on the underground could be classed as sexual harassment. Breathing, if he goes like this, breathes in and out in a normal way, sexual harassment. I mean, you're gonna find people at this rate. I did an entire article on this. It had to be a Substack exclusive actually, because otherwise, where was it? I know I keep referring you to other things, but really you need to. I mean, I could explain now and waste like about 10 minutes of videotape or video recording, or I could just say, look, check out this. Here we go. Just check this out. Here we go. Substack exclusive notice, and here it is. It's about this very thing. Right? It's almost this is too politically incorrect. Blogger has started deleting things. I call it the offence of being stared at, and it talks about staring. Intrusive staring is sexual harassment, and this entire article explains it. Okay, so you can check that out on there's the links on HPANWO Voice there for you. Okay. Right, so let's go back. Mablethorpe Group, 4608. Did Jimmy Stavel stain the reputation of hospital portering? Yes, he bloody did. I'm very, very upset about that. I mean, unfortunately, you see, I don't want to blame my brother porters or hospital portering service in general. The NHS, it's the NHS is to blame. They don't give a damn. You see, we are hospital porters are lions ruled by sheep. That's what we are. We are heroes ruled by villains and cowards. It's an awful thing. Red Snapper, have you read Jacques Vallée's 1969 landmark book, Passport to Magonia, From Folklore to Flying Saucers? Yes, I read it a long time ago, and it's very interesting. He sort of starts the whole idea of John Keel that questions the classic ETH, and I don't think I don't think he goes the whole way, and because you have to explain. I mean, Anthony Peake was talking about this the other day on that video with that Indian lady, Suma Gowda. There is an etheric element to aliens and UFOs, which is similar, which you get in like mystical experiences, near-death experiences. Graham Hancock makes this point as well. But aliens and UFOs obviously have a physical presence too. They crash and they leave behind wreckage. Aliens leave footprints in the ground. Aliens, they sometimes die and leave behind a body. The machine elves from Terence McKenna's Visions don't do that. So I don't think he goes. I think he doesn't quite go the whole way. Same video, Mablethorpe Group. I'm glad that you did turn this into a video. I enjoyed this speech. Thanks very much, Red. I wasn't sure it would just be audio only, so I'm glad I did do that. And someone recorded it there as well, which is really cool. Right, Weird Weekend North 2024. Red Snapper, is Philip Pullman, His Dark Materials, your favourite ever fantasy trilogy? I think apart from Lord of the Rings, yes, it probably is. I think it really is good. I think it's really excellent. I mean, the man himself is a complete and total cunt. So there's no other word for it. I can't stand him. He's a horrible little wokey, slimy, rainbow-coloured vulture. But his books are brilliant. They are brilliant. Notice of Alt Tech exclusive. Who hates Jacko? Macca the Gypsy says, you are nuts, Ben. I think Macca just likes to post these comments on every single one of my Alt Tech exclusive notices. Red Snapper. Wow, is there a timestamp here? I don't have to click it. I know what it is. Wow, you stayed at the Black Swan. I did. And I have to say a big thank you. I did in the video. I have to say a big thank you to the person who sponsored this expedition, because I did get a donation. Who's for someone who paid for this, because I would not have been able to afford it otherwise. But someone actually said to me, Ben, I don't like it. You stay at this hotel and walk all that way every day. Let me give you some money to stay at the Black Swan and let me pay for your other things. And I thought, oh, that's so wonderful. I'm eternally grateful to that person. Thank you so much. Weird Weekend North. I'll click the timestamp this time. The Black Swan looks nice, doesn't it? Says Red Snapper. Nice. Oh, this is our dining room. Very nice, isn't it? Yeah. It is delightful. It really is. And I will be going back there. I'm going back. I'm going to Contact in the Desert again. Like I said, I'm also going back to Weird Weekend North. Yeah, it's really cool. Will you, Red Snapper says on Weird Weekend North, there's a timestamp here. I don't need to click it. I know what it's about. Will you one day do a Jill Dando video? I'm not sure I could add anything that other people haven't already, such as Richard D. Hall and other researchers. Weird Weekend North, Red Snapper. What an amazing lard challenge. It was indeed, and I lost to Ben Fiddler, but I'm probably going to get another chance. I will get another chance, yes. Old Tech exclusive, Who Hates Jacko? Dave Langston says, what? You're concentrating on such things with Stephen Greer, adamant UFO disclosure with 72 hours a week ago granted. No, I mean, I brought this up. I've mentioned it several times, but of course I was a little bit dubious because, let's face it, Greer has made promises before that haven't come true. Weird Weekend North, Red Snapper says, were you able to eat the curry after eating the lard? I did manage to get it down, believe it or not. Yes. Didn't think I would, but I did manage to get it down. Red Snapper says on Weird Weekend North, there's a timestamp. I don't need to click it. I know what it's about. The Ura Linda book. That was Himmler's Bible, probably closest to the truth. Okay, you go on to cover that. Yeah, it was actually Tony Topping who did a lecture about the Ura Linda book, and that was kind of where I got a lot of information from. It's very interesting indeed. Blogger says on Notice of Alt Tech exclusives, Who Hates Jacko? Hating on someone dead seems a waste of time, effort, and energy. IMHO. It leads to a darkened soul and a depressive personality, hand-wringing over corpses. I agree, blogger. I think maybe you didn't understand that this is kind of these old tech exclusive notices are kind of sarcastic and ironic. As for his music, personally, I've never been much of a fan of any tracks or albums, even when he was at his most popular and successful. The exception being Thriller. I love the music video. I can still remember it premiering on UK TV at the time. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a massive Michael Jackson fan, but I think he's got some good tracks. I think he's a very good singer-songwriter. Some of his tracks are better than others. I think Smooth Criminal is very good. Black or White is very good. Fantastic video came with that. Black or White. He's an excellent dancer. He's a brilliant. He has his own style of dancing, which is excellent. Oh, well, he was. I know he's dead, of course. It's hard to imagine, but he is dead, yeah. Red Snapper, can you get a flat Earth and a hollow Earth? Well, obviously the two if something's hollow, it can't be flat, so the two are mutually exclusive. I don't believe in either. Right, so now I'm going to go to my notifications. We're nearly done now. 1 second. Let me just this. Hang on 1 sec. Okay, I'm just now going to go to my notifications. These are the notifications that have come, which have been posted while I've been recording this video. Let's see if there's any there. It's Philip MK Ultra 56 minutes ago said, I moved address. I now live at number 322. Oh, I see. Are you Masonic then, Philip? Number 322. All right. I think that is actually the Skull and Bones Society, isn't it? Or is it Bohemian Grove? I can't remember. But it's one of those. Is that the only one I've heard? Let's have a look. Yes, it is. Okay, that's the only video. That's the only comments that have been posted during the recording period. So that brings me to the end of this particular reply to comments video, at least the YouTube section. I want to thank everyone who's posted a comment, good, bad, or ugly. They're all worth replying to. They all produce content, which makes these videos more entertaining. Thank you to all of you, everyone who's watched and commented. Needless to say, if it wasn't for you doing that, this video wouldn't happen. So thank you very much indeed for that. Obviously, this is not the end of reply to comments 106, because I'm now going to get to work on the alt tech annex, which will not be uploaded to YouTube. Usually it contains a lot of stuff that's a bit too spicy for that Silicon Valley denseness. So please, if you're not following me on BitChute, Odyssey, or Rumble, please do so, because that's the only way you're going to see the alt tech annex of this particular video. In the meantime, what's coming up? Well, I'm going to do the Stefan Molyneux. Someone reminded me about Stefan Molyneux. I have one in the works, which are in the planning stages, pre-production, if I want to sound really, really pretentious. I'll get that done as soon as I can, because it's going to be very interesting. Several other things coming up. And of course, I think there's going to be more news coming out of the whole Trump UFO disclosure, JFK executive order thing. So I'll be covering that at some point. But I will let you know. I will let you know as soon as I'm ready to do those. Keep an eye on the channel. Click, subscribe, and stuff like that. And click the bell. Although do bear in mind, YouTube don't always give you notifications. Thank you everyone for watching HPANWO TV. Hospital Port as pride and dignity. Stop the New World Order.
Conspiracies, government cover-ups, Earth mysteries, monster cryptids, psyops, saucers and black triangles, HPANWO.